All right. Okay. How come I don't have a mic? Check.
Oh, just
Sure, bring the volume down a little.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
Welcome to Bros and Brews. Sorry for the delay. It was beyond our control. I'll just put it that way.
LA traffic. And it's those days that you're in a rush that everyone in LA wants to be, considerate driver, let the person cut in front of them.
Absolutely.
Everyone's it's the days that you need to get somewhere immediately is the days where everyone in LA is like, you know what, guys, let's just take it easy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Right,
I use the emergency shoulder for a reason. That exists for a reason, for me to get to my destination faster.
Proper introductions.
Oh, yes.
We're back again for the second week in a row. We don't normally do weekly shows, but when we leave our first week show halfway done, we have to come back the second week to finish our show up. And
That's right.
We'd like to thank our guests from last week for coming back and helping us finish our show, or helping us start the second portion of our show. The tall Armenian dude, as I like to call him, Matevos Nazarian, is back with us. Thank you, Matt, for being here once again.
Welcome back, my privilege, my pleasure. Thank you.
And as always, my partner is here, Ara Basil.
What's going on, bros and brewheads?
The bar is open.
I am not feeling well today, guys. I'm fighting something, but I need a little vitamin B.
Vitamin D always helps.
That's right.
Cheers.
Good old beer.
Good old scotch.
You got a drinking problem, Harry.
No, I can drink perfectly.
I don't have a problem. I'm very good at it.
There's no problem.
Have you noticed that the people, there's different levels of alcoholism?
Yeah.
Yes.
People that love wine, they're very poshy and bougie, and they
Yes.
look down on beer drinkers, and then beer drinkers look down on winos, and then they look down on people drinking whiskey.
Oh, bro, there is levels to this.
Beer drinkers look down on people who drink whiskey? Shouldn't it be the other way around?
No,
Beer is so rednecky and
and whiskey's not Kentucky bourbon.
I'm not talking about
Sour
American
mash
whiskey.
rye?
I'm talking about elegant Scotch.
Scotch is not whiskey.
Oh, of course it is.
No, it's not.
It's
Guys,
whiskey from
guys.
Scotland, hence the name Scotch.
Yes, Scotch from
Scottish.
Scotland.
It's Scottish.
Guys, we're not Mad Dog 2020 drinkers. Those are the only people that we should be judging, and the plastic vodka bottle people.
Right.
We should all get along. There
We do
shouldn't
get
be
along.
animosity among beer drinkers, among whiskey, tequila. I will say, tequila drinkers, we are the most interesting, fascinating, well-rounded people.
Well, tequila is
But-
my second drink, so.
Well,
Okay. Anyway, thanks everyone for joining us once again. If we can ask all of you to just share the podcast, let everyone know what's happening here, and help us grow. We don't mind it at all. Actually, we encourage it. Thank you. And I can't remember where we left off last
I
week.
don't know.
I got a bunch of people messaging me that I need to finish the Flagstaff story. Because
Okay.
apparently that wasn't finished. But we could do that later.
If you
Okay.
want to finish it up and get it out of the way, we can do it right now.
Harry, the volumes is a little too loud.
That's your headphone. not
Okay,
the
can you
mic.
bring the headphone down a little?
All right, try it. Listen to. How about now? Is that better? Is that
Much better.
That's a
It's
lot
the
better, yeah.
headphone.
Oh, much
it's not
better,
the
yes.
mic. Mic levels are perfect.
All right,
Perfect.
there we go.
All right, go ahead and finish that story.
Okay, long story short, I grew up in Arizona, as a lot of you know, and long story short, we're in Flagstaff. We're walking somewhere I'm walking with my parents. They're walking ahead of me. It's one of the first times you notice as a young man that your parents are actually romantic and love people, and you start to see them as actual individuals and not just your parents.
I remember this story.
And
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh my God, they're so adorable, whatever, this and that. And then my dad turns to me and goes, oh, Matt, you see that, what was it, Chinese restaurant? And I go, yeah.
Oh,
He
yeah, I
goes,
remember this story.
delicious, the best Mongolian beef I've ever had. And I go, really? He goes, yeah. I go, why does it look closed? Because, all the lights, it's, business day, all the lights are turned off, closed sign. He goes, yeah, they got busted a month ago for serving dog meat. Best Mongolian beef I've ever had, though. And I could see he hadn't made the connection, or he made a connection and did not care.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, that was a great lesson in manhood of, you know what? Whatever they serve you, if it's good, it's good. Why ask any more questions? You know what I mean? That's a very... And another thing on that, and being where we are right now, and I do want to talk about Armenian parents and Armenian parenting after the political stuff. But the thing is, and I've been saying this a lot this week, I've been noticing, I go, Armenian dads, maybe all dads, should take their sons at least a handful of times in their life to an Irish pub. And
Okay.
the dad just sits there, drinks Guinness after Guinness, and just lets the son kind of people watch, drink sodas, play darts, do all that. Because I was talking to my dad about this, because a lot of growing up in northern Arizona was going to Irish pubs because, not a lot to do. And my dad would like to, have me tag along with him everywhere as like, his little buddy. And the one thing that you learn very fast at a very young age is the spectrum of success and manhood in an Irish pub, where you see the guy that's where he lives.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
his life.
Yeah.
That bar stool, that bar, the server, that's all this poor man has.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of Norm Petersons in this country.
That's
yeah.
exactly what I was thinking. I was about to say Norm, but
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have, great Trees reference, and then you have a bunch of guys that are just there. They want a quick drink between work, or they just clocked out.
Right.
Oh, they're all there in their business suits or this and that. You see the level of fun they're having versus the alcoholic, depressed guy. And then as a young man, you kind of choose which
route you're going.
Which route you're going to go. Yeah, exactly. And it's good. You see the spectrum. So Armenian dads out there, take your sons to bars and don't even care about their entertainment. Just sit there, drink your beer, watch your sports.
Dude, I have a picture of Alec at Americano after we saw Santa Claus holding a beer. And it's such a cute picture. And I wanted to post it on Instagram, but in this climate,
You can't.
You can't.
social
Yeah.
services and
Yeah, you
everything,
can't.
like it's
You can't.
hilarious.
Getting back to that dog food or the Mongolian beef reference.
Yeah.
Delicacies around the world differ. It's crazy because over in France, dog meat is a delicacy.
No, horse
I'm
meat,
sorry,
horse
horse meat.
meat,
I meant
horse
horse
meat,
meat. I meant horse meat. I said dog because dog is on my tongue. But here, we wouldn't dare do anything.
Oh,
with
we
horse.
dare. We dare, Harry.
No. But you got to go out of your way to a specialized restaurant which specializes in foreign delicacies. It's not in Paris. You don't have to do that. Every restaurant you go to, it's on the menu.
Sure, because it's legalized. But here in America, it's on the down low. I'll give you an example. I don't know if anybody remembers this restaurant, but it was a restaurant called Tsunami.
Is it tsunami or
No, it was Tsunami. It was at the Santa Monica airport, and they used to serve insects. Okay, Taiwanese crickets, and it was really good. And actually, I've eaten it. I've actually posted it on YouTube. Scorpions on shrimp Thai toast, stuff like that. Asian fusion is what they had. Well, they got busted.
Right.
Not for serving insects. They were importing illegal whale meat.
Oh well,
And that is a delicacy in Japan, but it's illegal in America. So people still do it.
Protected species, not
Oh
endangered.
yeah, like the shark fin soup and all
Sure.
that. Yeah, you can
Right.
find that. Yeah, if you look hard enough, you can find anything anywhere, especially if there's enough money and
Of course.
it's a cultural
If
practice.
somebody's going to pay $200 for like 4 ounces of whale meat, why not? As a restaurateur, I'll bring it over. By the time they catch me, I'll be, in
Funny
profit.
story, sounding like Cliff right now. Cliff Clavin. Restaurateur has no N in it. It's restaurateur.
Is it what now?
There's no N in restaurateur. It's restaurateur.
Restaurateur?
Look it up.
This doesn't sound right rolling
All
off
right,
the
we sound
tongue.
like a bunch of restaurateurs right now.
Yeah, just restaurateur.
Oh, hey, look. Let
no end
me.
in it.
Sorry, I don't want to take over the show. But
Please
I wanna,
do. Please.
You're here to take over the
Please
show.
take over the show.
Okay, well, thank you, boys. And I want to start off in a very sweet way. And I do want to be this. Guys, look, these are small gifts from me. And it's my appreciation and thank you for having me on.
Oh,
But more so, I want to be a part of your guys' success and growth.
I appreciate
And I want
it.
you guys
Thank
to be
you.
like,
Thank
oh,
you,
it was
buddy.
Matt.
That's such a great gesture that you didn't really have to do, but we
Well,
appreciate it.
I spent all this time wrapping it and making sure it was presentable for you guys. So,
It's going to take 2 seconds for us to unwrap.
okay, for Harry John, I want you to save your best bangers on this. And I want this to be something that you use.
Oh,
I
appreciate
know it's
you,
a
man.
small, but it's, if you're ever in an unused, what is it, USB or whatever these things are called?
It's a USB stick.
USB stick
I
needs to
appreciate
be
it. 32
filled.
gigs. A lot of room.
A lot of room. The guy at
Thank you so
Walgreens
much.
said, no, the terabyte things are sold out, but if you want a 32 gig, I was like, I'll take what I can
I
get.
can never have enough of these, so I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course.
so much.
And,
and you
Barrio,
didn't really have to. Thank you.
with happiness, fill it with the best tracks that one day
Absolutely.
I want to see you, Pitbull, what is it? Tiesto, DJ Harry FX.
You got it.
And then to my stand-up comedian
Composition
Idol. What is it? A composition book
How 90s.
and pens.
It's a complete package.
Hey, let
Because-
me tell you, in the early 2000s, the pre-iPhone days, okay, I would sleep with a notepad and a pen next to my
Just
bed.
in case something came in the middle of the
Just in case something came up in my head, I would literally write it down because when
Beautiful.
you're half asleep,
Oh, yeah, you're not
you
gonna
don't
remember it,
remember it. And
Right.
but you're laughing your ass off.
Yeah.
And so I'd write everything down, and in the morning I'd wake up and I'd have my coffee and I'd read from the night before. I go, what the fuck was I on? This isn't funny. This is crap.
Well, I'm glad I,
Thank you, man.
This is the thing. When Dave Chappelle talks about his like greatest worth, I was actually watching his new special speaking about comedy, and as we were at last week, stand-up comedy, he was talking about how in his safety deposit box, the only thing that he left his wife. I'm gonna ruin it. Yeah, I'm gonna ruin a punchline, but he goes, "There's just my joke book."
Yeah.
But I'm like, if you tell these correctly, you're a millionaire.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So hopefully that'll be worth millions of dollars one day.
I'm rich, bitch.
Fuck, I missed the Chappelle show, man.
Bro, literally era defining.
Yeah.
It was one of those, there was no better comedy, there was no better show that you would talk about and look forward to.
100%.
70s was Saturday Night Live. 80s, believe it or not, I don't know if you guys remember the show. Fridays.
Yeah, Fridays. Yeah.
And then 90s, Mad TV. And then in 2000s, it's just, I don't think we had anything.
No. 90s SNL ruled.
Oh,
sketch
yeah,
comedy.
SNL.
It was okay.
They
It
had
wasn't
one
as
of the
good as
best
70s and
cast.
80s.
No.
No.
Harry.
Bro,
Harry.
you're talking about Dana Carvey, that cast, Mike
Yeah.
Myers,
Keep going,
David
they're all legends.
Spade, Phil Hartman. I know which cast you're, but I don't think they compare to Chevy, Bill.
Ah, you're wrong.
Bill, you think they're better than Chevy and Bill Murray and Dan
do.
Aykroyd? Oh, wow.
I do.
Okay.
I do. Pound for pound, the 1985 to 1993 cast was one of the greatest in SNL history.
Okay, but that again, you're saying 85 to 93, which there's 7 more years in the 90s.
Yeah, but that is a dead period until you got Will Ferrell and you got Sherry O'Terry and Chris Kattan in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
there was
yeah,
a
that's
dead
true.
period in the 90s.
Well, I think
But what I was getting to is, every decade had something, and then 2000s was Chappelle.
yeah.
Yes, 2003, 2004 was
Was
Chappelle.
Chappelle.
Well, and bro, you have to realize SNL is one of those weird things that they're like BMWs, where the BMWs you always like the most were the ones that were out when you were younger, you were in high school.
That makes a lot of sense.
Very true.
You know, those are like the ones
Because
that
it was
you're
our
like,
formative years.
Yes,
Right. You know,
yes,
and
that
Harry
was
being
you.
65 years old remembers the old cast better.
You looking 75 makes no sense. So you calling me out to be
No, we're all
65.
three young gentlemen here. There's no reason to do this, guys. Anyway.
Crazy. I'm older than you, but I look younger than you. That's crazy.
called marriage.
That's mind
It's called
blowing.
marriage and kids.
Right. Well, let's get away from
I used to have black hair, people.
Oh, and it was great. Gel Dob. This guy was killing it on MySpace, dude. I was like, look at this guy.
On
Half
MySpace,
Barska High. And those were the Barska High good looks. The hair especially.
That's
It was
right.
very Barska High hair.
That's right.
The gel.
Oh my
right.
God. What an era. But anyways, let's talk about something fun.
Let's do it. What do you want to talk about?
Politics. And
Sure.
being Armenian American
Sure.
in 2024.
Let's talk about it.
My biggest message now, let me start off by saying this. The only reason why I'm here, the only reason why you guys are talking to me is I saw so many Instagram posts and so many social media posts, but particularly on Instagram, back before, like when I was a private page, no one knew me, whatever this, no one really knows me, but whatever, a lot more people know me now. The thing that really upset me was seeing bad philosophy and how poisonous bad philosophy is, and then seeing family members and friends agreeing with that bad philosophy because they hadn't heard the counterpoint.
Are we talking about the pro-Pashinyan camp and the anti-Pashinyan camp?
Are we
Buddy,
talking?
I am talking-
Are we talking
this
about
is-
just Armenian politics, or are we talking about politics
This is
as
a
whole?
full encompassing
Good point.
problem. This is
Okay.
a full encompassing problem because this is another thing that I've been stressing a lot lately to anyone who will listen. Being a good American is the identical same thing as being a good Armenian. There are all the classifications and definitions of what it means to be a good American, you can take those and just copy paste it onto what it means to be a good Armenian in Armenia,
Yeah.
and what it means to be all of our cultural values, morals, spirituality, philosophy, whatever you want to look at it, they all culturally align with democracy, with capitalism, with wanting the best for your family, with wanting to be free, with wanting a free economy, all of those things. we align with America, I think, way more than any other country. And the thing is, not only do we but we remind them of that old school mentality that Americans used to have. That's why Joe Rogan's constantly harping on us. That's why all the like Fleckus, a very,
Fleckus is good.
Very well known podcaster. The guy is always talking about how much he loves Armenians and this. Because like those guys, especially like, Italian Americans, they see it, they go, oh, this is what we used to be. We were very family oriented. We were very traditional. We were very about being Italian.
That's right.
And we reawaken that in a lot of Italians or Italian American or even Irish Americans.
Anywhere from that region, I mean, or Italian, Greek, anything that's closer to our part of the world, people had that type of, family values, traditions. That's what they were raised on. So it's just here in the last, and this country is the youngest country in the world, if you really think about it. It's only 1776, whatever, 250 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
At that point, and within the 250 years, a lot of values have been lost. Because when people came over, they did have those values.
Well, and the thing is, we've gotten, I feel, and this is strong language, but this is just my personal opinion.
Wait. We have a G-rated policy here.
Sorry. Oh, no. Not language-wise. No bad words.
The fuck you talking about, Harry?
Say whatever you want, man. That guy's he's worse than a drunken sailor.
I got no filter.
Drunken sailors get shy around him. But anyways.
This is bar talk. There's cursing in bars.
Yeah, very true. But no, this is...
There's also enlightened conversations in bars.
Very true. And I have a point to make after Matt finishes his
We
point.
keep cutting him off. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I'm going to try to wrap this up quick. So the thing is that... Oh, my God. What was I on?
It was strong language. Go ahead. This is going to be strong language, but you were going to say it anyway.
Oh, strong language, yeah. I do feel like the Armenian community in LA particularly has been manipulated not only by the left and the far left on the same way that Democrats will go to all of these different ethnic communities and act like they care about them the most, but... That only seems to happen every 4 years, and none of these communities are benefiting. There's not a single community in America that can say we were helped by the Democrat Party and we're doing better because of it. There's not a one. And if there was, we would know about it.
Absolutely.
Because the media controls it, and they would want that to be a front row and center
singing the
thing.
praises all
like,
day.
oh, hey, if you look at us. Ironically, the flip side to that is it's red states and it's red areas that are becoming very safe, very livable, very, it's the mentality and the politics that make Scottsdale and Phoenix way more livable than Los Angeles now.
Of course.
Bar none. Like, I can't even tell you how many times I've gotten into this argument with people that I'm like, bro, and this was obviously in Phoenix, where a Californian would be telling me how backwards and whatever mine and Arizonians mentality was. And the only thing to reply to that is, then why did you come here?
That's right.
If we're all so backwards, then why would you move here and live around a bunch of backwards people? Makes zero sense. Anyways, my point being is with that manipulation came a dual type of manipulation, that the Armenians that weren't manipulated by the left and their ideology and their philosophy, Armenian conservatives got thrown into that manipulation by thinking the rest of America is racist. That me being an Armenian...
Sorry, I just got a little confused. Armenian conservatives are thinking...
Armenian conservatives, not that they think the rest of America is... Or like, not that it's like, if I were to talk to either of you and I would say, define America, you would say America's racist. Not that.
No, okay.
But there is this underlying thought or mentality, and it's not maybe with you guys, but I've talked about it with the Wise Nuts guys. It's not that prevalent with them, but they do kind of see my point. Is we get into this mentality of if they're a conservative, if they're Republican, and I'm Armenian, I shouldn't be Armenian forward. I should be more American forward, and I should kind of try to not show them that, I care about my immigrant, background or thing, or my, I care more about my motherland than my host country. There's this thought that I should hide my Armenianness. Not that you guys would ever classify it as that, but you would say like settle it down for the conservative or Republican Party. My point, and what I'm asking and begging Armenian conservatives to do, is to stop doing that. And the reason being is I grew up, my entire life has been around conservatives, around white, cowboy, Republican, gun owning, beer drinking, you know what I mean? The entire list of what the media would classify as racist Americans, and like, these are the people that are going to hate you, whatever. In the small town I grew up in, I could say we were one of the most celebrated families, if not the most celebrated family there, because my dad, my mom and dad, my mom PTA, always active, bringing food, so much to a point where other schools would call our athletic director and be like, "Oh, can you ask Jenna to make that spicy Armenian meatball soup?" Kufta Shila. Next time our team comes, and when they would, sometimes my mom would cook these big meals and take it for my sister's volleyball team or whatever. And then the opposing team girls would come eat it. So whatever. So not only in our small town, but in multiple small towns. And I would go to like Wickenburg or go here, and their basketball coach, or he was their football basketball coach, whatever. This old Southern dude will never forget it. I was terrified of this guy because he was the entire makings of that. What I'm talking about, that stereotypical way. This guy was obsessed with me. He's like, "You need to be on a football field. If you came to Wickenburg, I would make you into an NFL, whatever super. You'd be the best defensive or tight, whatever. Anyways, so my point,
you'd be the next Travis Swift,
right? Oh
He's got the height for it. You're gonna truck down people.
Oh my god! But anyways,
no one picked up on the joke. That's okay.
No, we got the Taylor Swift. It was fantastic hair. I gave it a laugh. What did you want? Anyways, my point being is one thing that I need LA conservative Armenians to know, because obviously you're not going to know this. Those places where you think they're not going to like you because you're Armenian, they're going to be obsessed with you because you're Armenian. They're going to love you. They're going to respect you because you're Armenian. They love the culture. They love what we represent, how we integrate into the community, like who we are. I'm not speaking for everyone, but if you go anywhere in America and you're respectful and you obviously adhere to their, culture and whatever, you are going to be one of the most well taken care of people. And that entire racist American stereotype, sorry to say, only time I've seen it is in LA with LA Armenians and liberals.
I believe you.
And their white liberal friends who 100%. Feel entitled to talk badly about us. So,
well, here are two conservatives, or he's like a libertarian, whatever. Okay. But not liberals. Two non-liberals that do not think the way that you described, what Armenian conservatives here in LA think about the rest of the country. I'm speaking for him as well. We both have traveled the country, so we've seen other parts of the country, and we know that's not what's been presented to us in any sense. I was just in Baton Rouge a few months ago. Everyone was so kind and nice, and I don't know if they could tell I wasn't white, but at the same time,
I'm telling you, Beirut's, you look very German, European. It's like you're basically white guys.
But everybody was so like cordial, respectful. And that's not the only place. I've been other places, and I don't know why you've gotten that sense. Maybe you've spoken to some people here that.
Oh no, it's this. The thing is, what I've noticed the most in LA, I thought I was going to be one of those cynical Armenians that came here, and after a year or two, you'd be like, it's higher, you know what I mean? Like, turn into that. On the contrary, I've become even more proud. I've become even more like, we deserve. When people, I get this comment a lot, and it's from Armenians, and it's from that very liberal looking, I don't look at their but, just look at the picture, whatever. You can just tell sometimes.
Pronoun having Armenians.
Whatever, or like the name, and you're like, bro.
Pronoun, the profile is.
You're wearing a anime costume, and I have to take you seriously. You're like, that's your profile picture. And they'll say to me, why should America help Armenians? We're nothing, or we're like this, not. And I go, why should Armenians come here and build beautiful communities, build churches, build it so they're one redeeming quality of Los Angeles, one of their few redeeming qualities is the Armenian community here.
Of course.
Where you're like, where we go, where we stay. You walk around Sunland, Tahunga, now that Armenians are moving in.
Oh, it's gotten much nicer.
You can tell a mile away what's an Armenian house, which one's not.
Yeah.
They literally will move in there. For the people who don't know that are watching, Tahunga, Sunland, it's like a very old, very like rundown, not run, but it's like an old part of LA.
It's a rural part.
Rural, industrial, mixed, whatever. It's like, it was like a very cowboy where like I think the Hells Angels were big in Tahunga at one point, things like that are very like, I don't want to say backwater part of LA, but lack of a better term. And Armenians went in there, and now every year you have a friend or someone who's like, I'm moving to Sunland, Tahunga and thing. And I have grandma that lived there and grew up with my aunt, so I was always, and I saw firsthand.
You saw the progression.
Oh my God. When we would first go there 20 years ago, 25, 30 years ago, you would be scared.
Yeah.
You would be scared to go there. And I would always why'd you guys? And they go, well, it was like cheap and we're, trying to establish ourselves, whatever, this and that. But now you go and you understand completely why they saw something that they're like, you know, whatever. And you're like, good for you guys, because, you know, their home value, everything skyrocketed. And that's because Armenians went there and they're like, we're not going to just look at this as somewhere we're going to pass or like a thing of we're just going to live in here and then this will be our transition phase until we make enough money to move to Glendale. They said, why move to Glendale if I can make this my own Glendale?
Well, it's a trickle-down effect. The Armenians that can't afford Glendale move to La Crescenta. The La Crescenta Armenians that can't afford La Crescenta go to Tahunga. The ones that can't afford Tahunga go to Sunland. And then we all regentrify and go to Silmar. We all regentrify.
Go to Santa Clarita.
Yeah.
But Santa Clarita is actually nice. It's just a little far. But parts of Santa Clarita.
Back to Matt's point in the beginning about the moral status of this country. I think there is none. We're a country without a moral compass right now. And I'm old enough, Harry's old enough, and you're even old enough to remember 9/11. Now think about this for a second. The majority of kids in universities right now weren't even born when 9/11 happened. So to them, it's like Pearl Harbor to us. It's like JFK to us. We hear about it in history books and television shows. We weren't there. We didn't experience it. What I remember from 9/11, you know, people say the world changed on 9/12. It did.
It absolutely.
Everybody was waving an American flag.
Oh, but it was
on their houses, their cars. It was an amazing time.
Oh my God! Like turning a tragedy into like a beautiful statement of like this is who we are. You're not going to extinguish us. You're not going to take us down.
Right.
Yeah. That was
American pride was
it was at an all-time high.
Yeah, and you know what? I think, and you saw small cracks in it, and obviously, you know, some things you're going to have to report, but that was quickly turned into, oh, don't be xenophobic.
So that's where I'm going with this. So while we're celebrating our patriotism and fighting a phantom war on terror to, you know, fund the military industrial complex for the better part of 2 decades, the education of this country went down the toilet. Children weren't being educated about American civics and politics. They were being taught other bullshits like gender identity politics and wokeism and all this stuff. During Obama, it skyrocketed. Okay. So now here's the thing. An idiot and an ignorant populace is easy to control. Most college kids don't know what the capital of the United States is, let alone the own state they live in. You can watch any video and they have no fucking clue. They'll tell you who Kim Kardashian is, but they'll have no idea who fucking first president of the United States was.
No, you'll tell them name one country and they'll say Europe.
Yeah, and they'll say Europe, exactly.
Or Africa,
Exactly. And it's all by design. So this wokeness is the moral compass that we've lost. Okay. Yeah. This is killing this country. Why? Because the people behind this are bored, white, suburban women, liberals. They have nothing to do with their lives. They want a justice in their lives. They want to find purpose in their lives. So they're finding causes to go after, perpetrated by the media, fueled by the media and this administration. And now you're seeing a backlash of wokeism. I'm sorry, but there will be a backlash of this. Enough is enough.
Oh no, it's already started.
It started. Okay. It started in every facet of the word. It started. A backlash has begun. Okay. Because Christian conservative parents and people do not want to hear this shit anymore. And here's what I'm trying to explain to people.
You know what's crazy? It's not just Christian conservative.
It's Muslims. Everyone. It's Arab. Everybody. This is what I try to explain to people. Live and let live. Okay. There was transgender people for the better part of millennia.
It was. I was talking to my dad about this actually.
They used to be called cross-dressers, though. They weren't.
No, that's transvestite.
Do you guys not remember the episode in All in the Family when Archie Bunker's friend from Vietnam came back?
Forget All in the Family. Klinger from MASH. Klinger tried to get a 5150 discharge from the army by dressing up as a woman in the 60s.
All in the Family outdid that by having one of Archie Bunker's Vietnam buddies come back as a woman. Do you remember that episode?
Yeah,
I remember.
And like when this thing whole started, and like that was always what I was like, guys, this was on like Nick at Night when I was a kid. Like we've had this. Like why are we making this such a center forward?
It wasn't even just that. I'm sorry. It was also the Love Boat. Gopher. Gopher's military buddy.
That's right.
Again. And you never.
I'm sorry. High school best friend comes on the cruise, and he thinks that's his sister. So he keeps the whole show, and then at the end, she's like, "I'm actually, your friend." And boom, mind blown. You know? But I mean, it's been around, and that was in late 70s, 78, 79. That's
The
when that
point
came
is,
out.
for years it was a mental illness. Okay, now we're celebrating it as heroic. Okay, that's the problem. This agenda must end. Okay, and back to your point about Armenian immigrants. Immigrants, Chinese, Irish, Italian, Armenian, we created this country. We developed this country. At the end of the day, immigrants will be saving this country because our values are going to be the last to go.
No, I'll say
and
this.
we will fight it tooth and nail.
Okay, my bros, the entire country was founded by, and it's a country of immigrants. Even the settlers, they were immigrants. So, I mean, obviously, it's going to be us that's going to save it. It was us that started it. It was us that kind of ruined it, and now it's going to be us that's going to have to save it.
Well, the thing is that you have to remember, and this was actually my second point, and this is to liberal Armenians, because I have advice for back.
I wish we had a lot more watching. I don't know if we have that many watching.
No, I think the numbers lie because when I was here last time, so many people messaged me being like, I was watching.
Well, what it is,
whatever,
they come in
whatever.
and go in and out, so the numbers don't show.
Yeah, or
really.
maybe on the phone, whatever. And I'm not like, this will live on in perpetuities or perpetuity, so I'm not worried. But the one thing that I wanted liberal Armenians to know is I would never, as a Trump supporting conservative, if Donald Trump allowed Armenians to be blockaded and starved for 9 months, I would never forgive my own party. I would never forgive my own candidate. When Trump didn't recognize the Armenian genocide, Serge Tankian wrote this long post about how he's a piece of shit for it and yada, this, that. I shared it, even though I'm a thing, because I'm like, yeah, this guy's a piece of shit for not making the Armenian genocide, and even though that wasn't a thing he ran on, unlike Obama, who didn't do it either. My thing is this, I know Armenian liberals, maybe not all, but I know for the most part, the reason why they become liberal, the reason why they become Democrat is they're well-intentioned, they're good-hearted people that think this party, what they're saying versus what they're doing is actually like lining up, which it's not. And that's the one thing that drives me crazy. I'm like, look, I would be on your side if I saw Democrats. Something that gets brought up to me a lot is what do Republicans do for what does the Republican Party do for Armenians? What does the Democrat Party do for Armenians?
Exactly.
Nothing.
What does any party do
Besides
for them?
writing worthless signatures on paper, that we got recognition, but I would rather have not had that recognition and Turkey not have F-16 fighter jets then we get recognized, Turkey gets mad, and as a way of satiating them, Biden signs over one of the most top, where if now they're going to get those jets, and if Armenia doesn't figure out something soon, we're going to now have an enemy with like an unstoppable air force. So it's one of those things where you guys have unintentionally helped facilitate a potential genocide by thinking you're doing something good by voting in a Democrat for Armenians because what they said would help us, but what they do does nothing. So that's my one message. I know you guys are good-hearted people, but you can't be so myopic and so narrow-minded and think that the party that hasn't done shit for you for 20 years, that they've been promising all of these things, are magically going to do something for you. And the times that they do something for you, it benefits the Turkish and Azeri timeline more than it affects us positively.
And yet the ANC
I was
Western
just
region
getting Portantino.
Yeah,
They just-
still kisses liberal politicians' asses.
They just endorsed Portantino for Congress.
Let me tell you something.
Over
I'm gonna
two
say this-
Armenians.
I'm gonna say this
even
on the air.
Matevos, who I do not agree with, obviously.
I'm going to say this on the air.
They
I know.
endorsed Portantino over Balakian.
Oh,
and
yeah. They don't
Matevosian.
care.
Two
don't care.
Armenians.
Dude.
Well,
And both those guys.
The ANC Western
okay,
region will vote for a Turkish genocide-denying liberal over an Armenian candidate. Hands
Yes.
down.
Not just the Western region.
Prove me wrong, ANC. And I'll tell you something else. When I run for Glendale City Council, I do not need your endorsement. I do not want your endorsement.
not
I don't
gonna
need
get
your
it.
endorsement. I don't want it. I will not ask for it.
Yeah, you're not getting it anyway. So
Well, and this is one thing you really have to, and kind of going off the topic, is one of my most primary philosophy is, look, like if you say you're going to help me and you don't, that to me is infinitely worse. That to me is way worse than if I asked you for help. Growing up in northern Arizona, very small, John McCain had a property there. 3 times my dad approached this guy being like, will you recognize the Armenian genocide? Guy would look at him in the face every time and be like, Dr. Nazarian, no, sorry.
Yeah.
Like Turkey's too valuable.
Yeah.
And even though I thought he was a piece of shit, my dad would always be like, no, the guy's at least honest.
Yeah.
And he's not like,
Absolutely.
yeah. Like, and then turns
Like
around.
Obama
Yeah.
saying, "Oh yeah, we'll recognize it." Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, RFK saying that same. Well, Biden finally did recognize it, so we don't have to recognize it anymore.
It's the apple
But
dangling in
I
front
was
of
just-
Armenian
I was
voters,
just gonna
bro.
say it's symbolic. It's nothing else. It's not like it's
Please.
going to do anything.
No one's gonna recognize the freaking genocide, bro. It's it. It's the end of this. It's the end of discussion. Turkey is too strategically important.
But it has been recognized.
No, it's
Bullshit.
been recognized in a very
the Americans
symbolic way.
will never.
symbolic, zero
it's got-
consequence.
Hey,
or,
okay, so this is how the conversation went
consequence,
down.
no effort,
This is how this is how the conversation went down. We recognize the Armenian genocide. Erdogan gets on the phone. What are you doing? This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Hey, relax. We're just throwing the Armenians a bone to
Yeah.
piss off Trump. Okay, don't worry.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
yeah, here's
There.
some jets.
There
Here's
you go.
some,
Here's some
top
F-16s.
of the line that they won't have any air defense
Please.
against. Yeah.
The problem is this, though. I mean, if we're going to bring it around and be honest with the conversation, is it's not just about the U.S. or the world or other countries. We got to look at inside. Like we got to look at in-house. What's going on in Armenia?
Yes.
That's where the problem, the root of the problem is, and who we have running the country there right now. Is
I don't even know anymore. Nobody knows.
No,
No,
we-
the thing
we-
is,
we know.
the thing is, Armenia can't ever be safe. I hate admitting this as American democracy loving, all of that good stuff. Armenia won't, in this climate, can't be saved unless we get a very militaristic, a very aggressive.
I'm gonna tell you something.
A very dogmatic guy.
I think we need a diasporan leader to go in and save
Yes.
Armenia. Nobody from Armenia.
No. And
Nobody from inside the country. They've all been corrupted.
they've been corrupted by communism. This is the thing. I talked to Beirutsis, Barskahais, Hayastansis too. I'm not saying anything, but I talked to so many diaspora Armenians that talk so much more passionately about, and I mean, it's easy to love something from a
It's always
distance,
been
and
that
I
way,
get
though.
that,
It's
whatever,
always
whatever,
been.
this and that, but you do need that if you see, okay, this guy's not trying to get power to get money. He's trying to get power to
Exactly.
save this place. And there's no Soviet. The one thing that it also, this is another thing, this message to the communist Armenians. Do you guys not realize that if it wasn't Russia pumping money into Yerevan and to Armenians because we were intellectually superior to a lot of our Soviet comrades, because we were developing the MiG, we were developing nuclear technology or nuclear weapons, technology that the Soviet Union desperately needed. They wanted Armenians to be happy within the Soviet Union, to be prosperous, so they can keep giving them this hardware, this military tech, all of that stuff, all the technology that came with having Armenians in your union, and literally. They pumped us so much money that you now hear Armenians now saying, "Oh yeah, we should go back to communism. We should. This is a bad
That
system."
blows
whatever.
my mind, dude.
And I go, "Okay, that's great. Is Russia going to start giving us millions of dollars every year to make us happy, to keep us communist? No.
Well,
so who's
I
going to do
think
that?
Putin wants to get the band back together, and NATO doesn't want him to. And Armenia, I think, is well too eager to jump back into the communism fold. That's my 2 cents.
Well, the thing is this. I hate admitting this, and I hate having to say
I think
this
I know
out
where you're
loud.
going. Go ahead. I think I know where you're going.
But Soviet Union did save Armenia from being
Exactly.
obliterated.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like, we have to admit
Exactly.
that as capitalist American, Armenian,
Yeah.
whatever, that
Yeah.
we're on the.
It's a fact. Don't be ashamed to say it. It's,
It's-
a
it's
fact.
like-
it's a fact.
It's like
fact, irrefutable.
they won't allow any other outside sources to manipulate us or destroy us. That's their job.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
and
they
by the
want
way,
to take God out.
we pulled our own weight in throughout those 85, 90 years of the Soviet Union.
Oh my
buddy.
God,
We contributed
yeah.
to the aerospace industry. We contributed to medals. How many Soviet gold medals went through Armenian weightlifters and powerlifters, bro?
my God, yeah.
A lot of them. You didn't see Estonia and Latvia freaking winning those gold medals.
Yeah.
It was all Armenian athletes.
All the IANs, Petrosians,
right.
Bogosians became Petrosov.
Yeah, exactly.
in
It
Bogosov.
was all Armenian Olympians. And here's the irony of that. During the Soviet Union, we won so many medals for them. Now that we're on our own, we don't win shit.
Well, again, it has to do with.
I don't get it.
Well, no, like, that's the thing. If you have whatever the Russia and the Soviet Union was to Armenia, I don't want to say a mother country, but like a overseer country who sees value in you, you're going to get pumped. This might have been someone just I didn't do any research on this, but I was told that the reason why all capitals in the Soviet Union have a subway system, or in the old Soviet Union, all of Kazakhstan too, and places where you'd be like, why do they have a subway system here? That doesn't even seem like it would be plausible, whatever. The reason being is Armenia or Yerevan got one, was one of the first, I think it was outside of Russians, they were the only ones that the Russians built a subway system for, and all the other unions were like, what the hell is this? You're going to make a subway system for the smallest country. You're not going to make one for us. So they, their hands tied. They had to go and kind of make it so thing. But it's on record where Russian leaders went to Yerevan during the Soviet Union and they said Armenians in Yerevan live better than Russians in Moscow. And again, that's because of Russian money. That wasn't because we got the communist system in Armenia was so good. Had nothing to do with that. Russians needed Armenians to thrive and be successful if the Soviet Union was going to survive and be successful. The same way that Russian Tsar, I forget his name, don't quote me on this, but he literally wrote to his son, look, you have to keep Armenians happy if you want to keep your empire successful. Yeah. They're a conduit to a good empire. Harry, what the hell are you doing over there?
Sorry, buddy.
No, you're good. Go ahead. But anyways, that's my the only reason why I'm here talking, or the only reason why I'm trying to get on a platform is literally this, is we are so poisoned as a community with idiotic, shitty logic where all you have to do is turn around and ask the same question back. What do Republicans do for us? What do Democrats do? Why don't we go back to communism? Who's going to pay for it? There's so much bad philosophy in our community that I'm sorry. And to the people that don't like, family members or old friends that are very annoyed by me, sorry, but your politics has cost me money. It's cost me my country as far as Artsakh, because I view being an Artsakh Armenian as important as being an Armenian. Yeah. You've cost me my safety. You've cost me Los Angeles. I was obsessed with this city when I was a kid. Up until 25, I would leave here and literally I would wait until it was nighttime and I would be passing Indio to start tearing up. I'm I don't want to see you, man. I don't want to go home. I don't want to see you cry. No, it was one of those things where I was so infatuated with this city, and it died because the politics here and the philosophy and the people here and the poison
this city
here
is a dead
killed
city.
it.
It's a dead city. You know what's sad, Matt?
Yeah.
You just brought up losing Artsakh. My children are in second grade and TK, respectively. Their school does a senior trip to Armenia. Every senior goes, right? Yeah. I hope I'm wrong in saying this, but I fear when they become of age to go to their senior trip.
You won't want to.
No, they won't have a country to go to.
Yeah, that's a very real
That's
fear.
what I'm afraid of.
That's a very real.
And Armenians, every time I bring this up, they're like, "Oh, that'll never happen." Really? Talk to the Assyrians. Talk to the Kurds.
The reason I'll push back on that a little bit is I don't think Russia will allow that to happen.
Talk to the Assyrians and talk to the Kurds.
I get it, but Russia is more powerful than the Assyrians.
But now Russia,
Iraq, and Turkey right now. Anyway, Siran has actually a very good question. I didn't even know about this. I don't know if you guys know about this. Thoughts on Elon Musk wanting to install tech campuses in Yerevan? Did you guys know about this?
Yes.
Have you heard about
I'm
it?
all
I
for
hadn't. I'm sorry, I hadn't. Well, it sounds good, but I mean, from the exterior,
for the better part of 25 years, Armenia has established itself as the Silicon Valley of Asia Minor.
Right.
So it only makes sense for Elon to set up tech campuses down there because technically we're the smartest people in that region. So if he does set that up, I'm all for it. It'll enhance Armenia's visibility in the tech world as far as a global stage is concerned. I agree 100%.
Can I offer a counterpoint?
Go ahead.
At first, let me get another Brews.
Sure.
Let me bother you, bartender.
You got it.
The bar is open.
Here we go.
Drinks are flowing. Conversation's going.
Boom.
And see, the owner of the bar hands you the drinks. What a great.
It's on the
Penny
house.
for your thoughts.
No, my counterpoint is any outside organization that goes into Armenia should be monitored, should be accepted if the intentions are good. But the one thing I've seen with NGOs, like today, I saw that I forget who posted it, one of the Armenian reporters, Artanok or whatever, that divorce rates
I saw that too,
are massively on the rise, and where it's like in singleness is becoming
In
a new
Armenia
trend.
or here?
In Armenia.
Yeah, because Armenia is turning westernized.
Yeah, and that's the problem with you don't sell yourself for don't sell your culture for a smartphone. That's been always my biggest gripe with my fellow millennial Armenian, Americans and all of that is it's like, guys, you come from the people who kidnapped and then trusted Caesar on his word. You come from the people that these guys are the ones that they did the Persians and the Roman dealings and whatever, the Mongolians, you outlived it and whatever, the this and that. And like now a Mercedes-Benz is the most important thing to you. Like
BMW for me.
Like when I look at these Armenians, like that, it's like
American baby. Hot rods.
Yeah.
Camaros.
Guys, can I just do a shameless plug here?
Oh, of course.
What Matt said brought an interesting point home to me. I went to Armenian school for 12 years.
Which Armenian school?
Pilibos, Alex Pilibos in Hollywood. Yeah, and you learn about all the history, Armenian history that we've had. The strife, the conflicts we've endured for centuries, and we're still here. That's the only saving grace I have, that I know that Armenia will still exist, because we faced bigger foes, years past.
Exactly.
So having said that, here's a plug. There's a project that my good friend Ranju Kupelian has been working on. It's a lifelong project of his, and we're very close to completion.
Oh, very nice.
It's called Warriors and Saints, and actually brings the entire timeline of paganism to Christianity in the entire Byzantine region to life. And Roger has a background in digital artistry and Matt graphics and all that stuff. He actually worked on Lord of the Rings and a bunch of other Hollywood blockbusters. He's a very, very talented artist. And, it's very...
Wait, I think we
connected successfully. So
that's it. Let's see. What do we lose?
It said disconnected. Oh, we're back. We're good.
We're back.
We're good.
Continue what you were saying, Arajan.
No, what I'm saying is once this project goes into a series and into full production, it's going to tell our story, our history that nobody has ever talked about before.
Hell yeah.
So it's very, it's sad. It's so sad. But there's a happiness to it because we've persevered and we're still here. And now to see us fighting within each other is depressing me.
That's another thing, and sorry to turn this into my social media vent session of what bothers me, but this is another thing. When I see a lot of Gen Z, because the problem is this: a lot of young Armenian guys, when they grow up, they think, because the Roman Empire, all of these things are coming back. Thank God, I love seeing it. But the Napoleon and the Roman Empire and all of these, Caesar and whatever. They think success is you had this big militaristic, you took over these, like all of that stuff. It's like, no, dude. Sometimes winning is surviving.
That's right. Yeah.
Sometimes being a success story and being something to be proud of is, look, we faced down the most... all empires are empires of consequence. Meaning, if any great empire is going to have something bad happen to a lot of people, whether it be the old saying goes, you want a big, beautiful bridge, a lot of poor people are going to die building it.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I look at us as this thing of not only are we this surviving, but we're not the best way. Look at Armenian Twitter. Look at Azerbaijani Twitter. You would think we won the Artsakh war and that we were taking over Baku and that Azeris were on a death spiral of survival. That's how angry and violent they are on social media. And that's how good humored and happy and jokey and because all of this, because that's the thing. You can survive a tragedy, but what's more impressive is surviving a tragedy and keeping your sense of humor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's those people that everything they do, they make it hard. You look at whatever career they take, whatever relationship they're in, whatever small project they're doing, it looks insanely hard because that person makes it insanely hard for themselves, or they just don't have the capability. And then you look at other people and they just dance through life and tragedies and death and whatever hardship, and they lost their job and then this and that. And then 6 months later, you talk to them, they found a better career, they're in a bigger house and whatever, this and that. Those are the type of people that have always impressed me most. And as an Armenian culture, we're a culture of that, where it didn't take us My dad came to this. I'm sorry I talk about my family so much, but it's a big part of being Armenian. You know, it's part of my Armenian experience. I want, you know, and you know, I want to share
I'm
this.
very proud of you for talking about your parents like that because they're great people that raised a great kid.
Oh, thank you.
They are great people.
Well, and you know that's going to go into my
I'm on
Armenian.
4 beers. Leave me alone.
I fucking love this guy, man.
Pipo. It was a speako.
Oh, it was a speako.
It was a speako. Pipo.
Oh, I thought you were just trying to speak English in a British accent.
No.
Well, and that's one thing that I want to start telling Armenians a lot more is like, dude, we have amazing parents.
Yeah.
We have, like, that's the thing. And to finish my last point, my parents, your parents, all of our parents, they didn't come here and struggle. They came here and they thrived. And then you ask them, like, oh, like when you were a kid, what happened in Iran or like what happened in Beirut? And then like, you're looking at this guy who's successful, this and that. And as a kid, you're assuming like, oh, you know, his parents probably sent him here and like whatever, this and that. It was money. Oh, I was, so my best friend got blown up by a mortar in Beirut. So came here when I was 12, had to emotionally deal with that.
Yep.
And then became this massive success story. So many people I know, my chick's dad, my dad, every like Armenian dad, essentially that, you know, that of that generation, it doesn't get talked a lot. Well, what you do hear a lot is Armenian parents are so strict. They never let their kids live. It's like, okay, yeah, they're strict. Maybe they didn't let you go to that party or they didn't let you date that guy or that girl, whatever. But sorry, our last names are on every building. I look at downtown LA. My buddy goes, oh, this building's owned by an Armenian. That building's owned by an Armenian.
Yeah.
I go to a medical center. Half the names are Armenian. I go to the law office. More than half the names are Armenian. Like, yeah.
So back to your point about our parents being tough and coming here with $50.
Oh, we all have stories.
All the stories
We all
are the
have
same.
stories.
We came here, escaped our country, and I don't know about Beirut, but Iran escaped.
What are you talking
Everybody
about?
left.
We left during the Civil War.
Did you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They're the
So
refugees.
everybody escaped. They came to
75.
America with $50 in their pocket.
Yeah.
$50, they turned into an empire.
So many bars guys started thinking, had their life's work burned in front of them.
Yeah,
had
exactly.
their had
Same thing.
Iranians go into their liquor store
Yes.
or their business and burn it down because they go, you're
But
haram.
here's where I'm
My
going
dad
with
had a
this.
factory with 35 employees and he left and came here with nothing.
But here's where I'm
Yeah.
going with this. Our parents were rock stars. They raised good people. The generation that's raising these kids now, they spoil the shit out of them.
The problem is
and
that's
that's
our
why they're now
generation.
liberal. It's our generation that
That's the
fucked up,
problem.
Harry.
Yeah, I'm
okay?
saying our Gen
because
X, yeah.
easy times make
Yeah.
weak men,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what
What's
we have
happening.
now.
Yep.
Alex brought up a good point. They shouldn't be taught boys are girls and girls are boys. And that's exactly where we are. Our own community is compromised with these young kids, impressionable kids.
I'll tell you what made it, what brought it to that level.
Very good point, Alex.
I'll tell you what brought it to that level where now they're being taught that boys are girls and girls are boys. It was our generation, Basil and mine, that grew up a little bit more, I guess, not having as much because we had, but we didn't have as much as what our generation gives to our kids now. I don't have any kids.
100%.
But the thing is, they coddled their kids. They
Yes.
gave them everything they ever wanted. They let them get away with murder. I
Yep.
mean, not literally, but they let them get away with whatever they wanted to get away with. There was no repercussions. Repercussion was, oh, you're on timeout. What the hell is a timeout?
Bro, I feel like, yeah, exactly. I feel like
This is
When I
not
was a kid, my
this
dad
is
would
not
take a
an
time out
NBA
from
game.
work to come and kick my ass. That's exactly what it was.
Exactly. We were raised right, but we didn't. What was instilled in us, the way we were raised, we did not raise the next generation. So now this is what we have, and it's not just Armenians. I mean, I'm not just saying. I'm not picking on us as Armenians.
Because
I'm picking on
rearing children
picking
is
on
frowned upon now.
The
Think about it like this.
the entire Generation X, and some of the generation that came before the baby boomers. But that, I mean, and now we're at a point, we're at critical mass.
Yeah.
So,
well, okay,
I don't
you know
have
what
any
I was,
kids, but those of you that do, raise
Yeah.
them right, please.
Well, it was a point I was talking to my buddy about this because me and him were the same age, but we're from that. We saw that old school. You know, when you guys are saying me and Harry, I'm in that generation too, bro. And
Well,
what
you're
I
a
mean
millennial,
is,
though.
Oh no, I'm a millennial,
No,
but this is what
you're
I mean.
one
This is what I mean. No, but this is
After,
what I mean.
that's
How what we share similar, and this is why I think any generation of I can't speak for women, but for young men and for think to become, it's like you get raised in the same way,
Right.
And that's for example, my dad was never an abusive guy.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you've never been spanked, you're not a member of Gen X.
No. We got, dude, my mom with that wooden spoon, bro. She's an assassin.
The wooden
with it.
spoon, the pabuch, bro, the shoe.
Oh my
Shoe
God.
stick, man, from Tehran. It was
but
leather.
but listen, neither of my parents were abusive people. Even as a kid, I was never.
It's not a matter of being
physically
abusive.
scared. No, listen.
All they had to
I
do
was
was look.
never. No. I was never like I would never classify my parents in any way abusive. But the moment my mom said, "Wait till your dad gets home,"
Oh, dude.
Absolutely.
that was a kill switch of like you and me, and you were like, "I'm so sorry, mom.
started
Please
shitting
don't."
in your pants
Yeah, you
before
were
that.
like,
Exactly.
"Please, like I'll do anything."
Exactly.
And it's same. My dad would come home every time, literally either laugh or look at me and be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And like it just his disappointment was enough to be like so heartbroken. And you felt like I would rather have gotten smacked in the face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Than have my dad
See,
be
that's
disappointed.
the difference between your generation and our generation.
Kids-
When my dad came home, and I mean, I was a good kid. I never really
Get
acted
the
up.
belt out.
The belt would come out,
The
though.
belt.
The
Well,
belt
bro.
would come
Okay,
out.
in defense of your dad, he probably watched a lot of dark shit happen
No,
in
no,
Beirut.
no. It's just normal.
No,
This
no,
is
no.
normal.
This
It's
was
the entire
normal. Dude, my earlobe fell to my freaking hip
when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
because my dad would grab it and pull me back when I
Yeah.
was stray.
Well, okay, that would happen to me too, but I wouldn't classify that like
As
okay,
abuse? Me neither.
Yeah, that's
Me
not
neither.
That's abuse now in today's
It's
standards.
No,
discipline.
like okay, my dad.
You lack discipline.
bro.
But yeah, during our times, it was labeled discipline. Now it's abuse all of a sudden.
Matt, watch your head. Those are low beams, dude.
It's a freaking liability in here to tell people.
Dude, now, forget that.
Gulliver's Travels over here.
I don't know if they're going to get that reference, bro. We're talking about Gen Z and
Let me pet a
millennials.
rabbit right now. Let me give you another reference. Did you get that one,
No.
Lenny?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Vice and Men. There you
Vice
go.
and Men, yeah, of course.
I want to get into it.
We're not Gen Zers. We're not millennials. We'll get that.
Yeah,
And,
very
and
true.
kudos to you for knowing that reference.
Oh yeah, bro. This is the thing, dude. When I
Who
was
wrote that book? George Orwell Scott? No.
No,
Who was it? W. Eliot? Lewis Eliot?
T.S. Eliot.
T.S. Eliot?
Yeah, I think it's T.S. Eliot. Yeah, it has to be T.S. Eliot. I hope I'm not wrong on this.
Oh yeah, my dad just texted me this and how I would. So you know how my dad would solve the problem if I was playing too much video games?
Uh-huh.
He would walk in my
I have
room.
a question about video
Turn the
games
power
later.
off?
Later.
No, turn what, bro? Each turn the power off. Grab the entire video game system and throw it over our fence.
Bravo,
And he
Pop.
goes, "Now you don't have an Xbox anymore."
Bravo, Pop.
That's problem solved. You're following me
Bravo.
behind in school. Now you don't have it. And
I
I
do-
did not play video game throughout my almost entire childhood. And literally, it was the best thing that I as an adult, now
I
I'm like,
think-
thank
Okay,
you.
here's
I
the thing
think-
with me with video games. I used to play video games after school, but I would do my homework first, finish it up, and then I'd play video games. I mean,
I never did.
I did my.
I never did.
I did my due diligence.
No, I'm sorry. I never did.
Bro, bless their heart. They would.
I'd play Atari, bro.
whatever they-
and
I-
Nintendo. That's what I'd play. Not Xbox. Not play that. We didn't have that yet.
So I think I've broken 3 of the same toys that my son has just to prove a point to him.
Yeah.
But I think he got the last laugh because I kept buying the same fucking toy.
Oh, yeah, never.
See what
I'm
I
like,
mean?
clean it up, clean it up, and I just break it, step on it.
How is
Dad!
Hold on.
Well, bro, yeah, you can't.
Hold on. How is he supposed to get any type of life lesson if you're just
Exactly.
going to buy the same
Bro,
toy?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And like, this is the thing too.
I feel bad, bro. I can't.
You're a softy.
I can't.
You're a
No,
softy. That's what it is.
I'm proud of you for at least doing
soft.
that. No, he's not. The thing
Soft.
is, there's so many.
Yeah, Harry could talk big because he doesn't have a kid. If
Oh,
you had a
exactly.
kid, you'd be the
Yeah.
same way.
Dude, that's the one thing. When my sister started having kids, I went from being like like maybe you shouldn't do that. Like maybe the kid doesn't like that. And then
Yeah.
after she had her 4th kid, I was like, dude, whatever you need to do
Yeah.
to make it through the day, like God be with you, bro. Because like I go and your job as an uncle is just to hold the kid for a little bit, make them laugh, this, that.
All right, I'm gonna
4.
put my brother on the spot here.
Go.
Yeah, sorry, bro.
Let's air out our family. Let's air out our family drama.
All right. Well, just today this happened. Just today, I picked up my nephew from school because from time to time I pick him up,
Nice.
and he goes, "Hey, let me
Good
get your
uncle.
phone." He puts Spotify on. He likes,
Yeah.
he's a big, believe it or not, he's a big 80s fan. He likes Michael Jackson. Nice. He likes, all the bands from back in the day. Tears for Fears, Michael Jackson. He's a big Weird Al fan.
Nice.
Yeah.
But
well-rounded
kid.
Recently, he's gotten into Eminem.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So he puts on Eminem, and...
Cursing.
Starts cursing. And then it gets to a point where, I'm on the rag and I'm ovulating. I'm like, do you even know what this means? And he's like, no, I don't. I go, then why are you listening to it? My dad lets me. Now, I don't know if my brother really lets him, but I said, well, you're not listening to it in here. Boom, I stopped him. So, I mean, the kids are exposed to everything through YouTube now.
Yeah.
And if parents, and I'm not blaming my brother, but I mean he's at work, his mom's at work, and they have got stuff going on, obviously, but you'd have to be on top of these kids 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
They're gonna see and hear things, and they're gonna watch things, and even I go, aren't you on YouTube for Kids? Yeah, it's on YouTube for Kids. How the heck is this on YouTube for Kids?
No, I'm sorry. Forget YouTube. No, I'm at sorry to cut you off.
No, my point is it's just too much exposure out there.
No. It's not. This has become the norm. From where I was watching when I was. It came out in 2002.
Anyway, I didn't let him do it. I'm like, you don't listen to stuff like this with your uncle. You listen to it with your mom and dad.
No, you're a good uncle for doing that. No, but the thing is,
the point is, parents should be on top of this, and I'm kind of like putting my brother under the bus here.
No, you know why? No, it's not throwing him under the bus, and I don't even blame him that much because the real blame, honestly, so I watched my mom. The moment she would walk out of the room, my sister would put on MTV.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed to watch MTV until we were like older, but when we were like kids,
and it was
I
tame
see
back then.
why, because you would watch like an MTV Spring Break, you're basically watching a pornography.
Sure.
Like it wasn't even a thing of. Last night I was on Netflix. Me and Ollie were sitting and I'm like, oh, there's Real World, and it's like with the old seasons.
Wow.
Like when
Oh
I
my
was
God,
like,
you actually watched that
dude,
again?
when I was 12, I watched the season that came out where like
I'm not gonna lie, I watched season 1 and 2, and then I stopped.
Well, bro, like you forget, you guys are from a big city. When you're from a small town, like MTV was your connection to like New York, to Los Angeles.
That's true.
Like you didn't feel like you were on this like, and it actually was worse because you felt like you were missing out, and then you grow up and you go like, oh, when me and my friends were drinking beer and having like massive bonfires in the woods, you guys were like afraid to have like a kickback because like, the cops would come and bust up. Anyways, point being is I'm watching the Real World last night, season 12, Las Vegas, for anyone who wants to.
I was way checked out
They
at
shot
that point.
at the Palms, didn't they?
So you did watch it.
I remember that.
No, okay, because you have
I'm
to
talking about
remember.
him, this guy.
No, yeah,
I remember. No.
And they shot it at the Palms.
Because season 12 was when the Palms first opened, and the Maloof brothers struck a deal with MTV for their own publicity and advertisement.
And then you started watching the show.
Yeah. No, and like that's what literally we were saying. I'm like, wow, what a great advertisement this was for Palms. Anyways, these are all 22-year-old kids and whatever. Yeah. And the thing is this: 22-year-old kids aren't watching other 22-year-olds. Like I'm 30. I don't watch a lot of. I watch stuff. It's always the generation ahead of you that you're watching, and you think, okay, what they're doing is the right whatever. So it's not 22-year-old kids that was watching this Real World episodes or this season. It was 12-year-old kids like me.
Yeah.
Right.
And go watch it tonight. And anyone after this, like go pop it on. It's a 20-minute show. In that 20 minutes, aggressively talk about sex.
Yep.
The way that the guys on the show talk to the girls, I go, if I was one of these girls' dads or boyfriends, I would have beat the shit out of this kid after the show came out. You mean like whatever. And just like the entire way, and the way MTV, and they all admit it later, they go, yeah, the producers said to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the producers like push the envelope, or they want you to like act a certain way, whatever. And you realize that, when I was 12, I was being indoctrinated. I wasn't being entertained.
Absolutely.
MTV was like, be a mindless, sex-addled, like all you should care about is your social status, fuck your education, your intellect, your whatever, anything that gives you purpose and value and gives you like an actual
It's
gift
crazy
to society. That's not, forget all that. be very into sexuality, music,
Yep. It's crazy
making an
because
ass out of yourself on TV.
That was the precursor to the social media age.
Of course.
That ushered it in.
Yeah.
That was actually the setup.
Yes.
It was the setup. Hey, look, this is what's going to happen, and then eventually it's going to blow up even more, and we're going to control your mind 100%. Right now, we're trying to do our best with limited resources we have. We're going to attack you from any type of way we can. We've got MTV, so we know you like MTV, so we'll put it out there. But then eventually, now it's social media. They don't even have to put it on MTV. Kids are finding it everywhere. So the parents' job, and by the way, I feel for all the parents. Don't get me wrong. Parents' job are way harder
Yeah.
now.
Yes. Infinitely harder.
When we were growing up, and again, I'm going to say it like this.
Yeah.
When Baze and I were growing up, our parents didn't even know where the hell we were until 6 o'clock.
Dude, okay.
We used to leave.
Okay.
Actually, my mom asked my dad once if he knew where the kids were. He goes, honey, I told you last night. I have no idea. He goes, now leave me alone. I'm watching the Lakers.
Exactly. My dad had his couch watching the Lakers.
My dad didn't know where we were until we ended up in the back of a milk carton. This is how the 80s were, right?
Oh, see, my parents were parents post Columbine.
Yeah.
So they were
that's
like
what I'm
very
saying.
like, where are you? What are you doing?
There are differences between, like, we'd come home from school, get our bikes, get on our bikes, go, like, I'm saying 2-3
What
miles
was the word
away.
my mom would say? Ashkaraga contain.
Ayo, exactly.
We would conquer the world on freaking BMXs, bro.
Oh my
Travel
God,
everywhere, pick fruit off trees.
now I don't let my
go
kids
to
walk
people's
outside.
backyards. All kinds of like stuff that we
Bro,
shouldn't be
in
doing.
Sedona, in a small town, you know what was our favorite thing to do on bikes? We'd go around, we would see if people's doors were unlocked in their cars, if they're parked, and just sit in the car and act like we were driving it.
That's
And
funny.
bro, like, literally, I'll never forget, one of my buddies sat in it once, found a pack of cigarettes in the center console and lit a cigarette, and he was like, oh, look at me. And you're like, oh, this is like kid, you don't think you're committing a crime, obviously.
You have no idea
but
what you're
that
doing.
was the thing when you tested boundaries, you went out, your parents were like, just be home when it's dark.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
come home when
I
it's
was
dark.
just going to get to that. We'd go to the schoolyard basketball. We'd play ball till my parents were like, as soon as the light comes on, you come
Exactly.
home.
Yeah.
So when the park light or the
City lights.
no, not city light, the basketball court light in the school came on. I'm like, hey, bro, we got to go home.
Yeah.
So we'd get on our bikes and we'd bike home. It's like,
But back to our point, we were never indoctrinated. We were lied to.
no.
Yes.
And I'll tell you a story. When we were kids, Harry and me were kids, we had movies like Porky's,
Oh, yeah.
Revenge of the Nerds, Animal House.
Was it Porky's or Porky's too that had the shower scene with the people?
It was the first
one.
The
Porky's,
first
yeah,
one. We had Meatballs too.
Wait, how old were you when you watched Porky's?
Well, I was 7, 8 years old.
Holy shit.
Yeah, because okay, so let me
Bro, that's
explain.
there's aggressive nudity in that.
Let me explain life in the
time.
80s. Okay, there was no parental discretion as
No,
advised.
no.
Parents didn't care, especially immigrant parents didn't care.
No, but it was rated R. And how
Of
do we see
course
it?
it was
Tell
rated
me how
R.
we saw it, because I can
I
tell
saw it
you.
at my cousin's house. He was
that's
5 years
different.
older than me.
Oh, you saw it on VHS.
No, I saw it on Select TV and HBO.
Okay, but you saw it at the house.
Yes.
I snuck in. I went and saw Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then next door was Porky's.
Okay, well that's different. You snuck in. But my point is this.
It's there.
It's right there.
My point is this: all these movies talked about getting laid.
Yeah.
When you go to college, you have keggers, you drink nonstop, and you go on panty raids in the
Yeah.
sororities. So as a kid watching these, I was like, I can't wait to go to fucking college.
Oh, dude, yeah.
What
Made it
a
with
party!
adulthood, yeah.
And then you get to it's the '90s, and everybody's depressed now.
Yeah, it's completely
And
different.
Where are the panty raids? Where are the fucking drinks?
No, we're all grunge now, dude.
Movies lied to me.
We're all listening to Nirvana and smoking
Right.
cigarettes and fucking
It was
depressed.
all alternative, bro.
Bro, wait, you want to know how... Okay, this is our similarity. I'm trying to find more bridges that we can build between us, even though I don't feel like we're whatever. Gen X and millennials were that different. When I was 5 years old, and this is back when you went to a movie rental store, especially in a small town.
Blockbuster?
We didn't have No, are you kidding?
You guys didn't have a block?
Bro,
There
when I
was
would
no-
visit Phoenix, and my buddy would take me to a Blockbuster because his mom would be like, okay, you guys can rent 3 movies.
I hated
I'm ordering
Blockbuster.
pizza. Bro, I love Blockbuster.
Blackbuster.
for
I don't know if Matt knows this yet. I'll tell you the story after. Go ahead. Tell you the story.
I'll tell you after.
Bro, so when you go to Blockbuster, classic movies and movies that just came out, multiple copies, right?
Oh, yeah. You go to like a real... It's rented out. It's rented
Bro,
out.
yeah, small town, you get one copy of each movie.
That's right.
And the entire town shares
I used to work at a video store.
Yeah.
It was expensive to rent those videos. It was a
Yes.
company called Rent Track, and they
Yes.
would charge $95 each movie.
Yes.
So a lot of these small mom and pop stores couldn't afford 4 or 5 copies, only
No.
the major movies.
Yeah.
So if you walked in, you wanted American Ninja 2 with Michael Dudikoff, you're only going to get one, and it's your luck if that one was fucking sold out. If it
Oh,
was
buddy.
rented.
And the
You know.
thing is, yeah.
Unless you went to a Videograph in Pasadena where Levon used to get one copy and then in the back he'd dub another 15 copies. And so you'd get it with it would say Rocky 3 in his handwriting.
Yeah.
So the joke that I have in my act, and the true story in the '90s, we were hanging out at my house and my neighbor was over, and my mom goes, "You guys look so bored. Why don't you go to the Black Bastard and get the movie?" And my friend Sean, who's black, he looks at me and goes, "What the fuck did your mom just say?" I go, "She's saying Blockbuster Video, bro. She's nothing. It's all good."
No, she didn't say Blackbuster.
She goes Black Bastard. That's what she
Oh,
said.
wow.
Okay. So I go, "Mom, you mean
your mom's
Blockbuster?"
racist.
Yeah. And I go, "No, Mom, you mean Blockbuster?" She goes, "Yes, hookies. Go down to the Blockbuster. Talk to the Black Bastard that works." I love your mom.
I love that joke.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
So it was a fun time to be a kid in the '90s, man.
Well, dude, and your parents did genuinely not care. So, point of the story: this small town movie rental, one of every classic movie. My poor dad, dude. I remember this as a kid.
Yeah.
He would walk up to after going and checking to see if it was there, and it wasn't. He'd walk up and like. As like shy, not shy, but like especially like bond of like hope with hope-filled eyes.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Did they return it?" And they'd be like, and they'd already know what movie he was asking for, and he'd be like, "No, they didn't."
It's got to be Conan, Terminator.
No. Listen, no. So we go to San
kid.
Francisco.
Oh, kid.
We go to San Francisco. We're visiting family, whatever. It's late at night. It's a family, but my amo, whatever, Uncle Hopar,
Right.
goes, "Serjan, do you want to watch Godfather Part 2?
Oh, wow.
And he goes, I've been trying to watch this goddamn movie. Yeah, put it on. And he's so happy. He's like, "Matt, come sit, watch this movie with us. It's amazing. It's one of my greatest movies ever made. I'm so excited." First 5 minutes, the mother in that movie gets a double barrel shotgun blast to the stomach.
Yeah.
And they ship the boy off to America alone because they're trying to murder him.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm sitting there in 10 minutes.
That's
into the
Vito
movie,
Corleone. Yeah.
traumatized, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's literally been ever since I was 5-6 years old. That memory has been imprinted in my brain. The amount of fear that I had watching that movie, and more so watching my dad, how much he enjoyed that movie. Like, what kind of psychopath can enjoy?
See, that's
you know
due
what
to
I mean?
your generation and our generation. I don't think anything traumatized us.
Nothing.
Well, hold on. I take that back. When Optimus Prime died in 1986.
yeah, that was
Yeah, you
really
guys
bad.
talk about that bullshit. Yeah, because you guys literally didn't have to live through the bullshit that was the 90s.
No, but you got to remember
Columbine,
something.
9/11.
You got to remember
Jesus.
something. I was 10 years old. We go
wait,
see
wait, wait.
Transformers the movie.
Sorry. Yeah. Say,
Wait,
no,
10
say
minutes
mine,
into the
yeah.
movie, Optimus dies. We're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's traumatizing to a generation that lived in America's peak. Sorry, Harry John. Let me just finish this.
We
point.
have
a-
You
we have a
guys
traumatizing
literally
experience.
were living in like the best times in American
also agree
history.
with that. I
When
also
did
agree
I
with
grow up? Columbine. You're a kid. You send him to school. He's gonna get shot. Hey, kid, you might get shot here. You know what I mean? 9/11, tragedy,
Okay.
and economy
I'm gonna-
collapse.
can
I
It's
tell- actually right.
Like,
Can I tell
dude,
a
it's
story?
like one thing after another.
Can I tell a
actually
story?
right.
Godfather 2 still traumatized
Can I tell a
me.
story?
Continue.
Okay, ninth grade, right? Ninth grade. We have an assembly. The whole school goes to the auditorium. They have a huge film projector setup. They have the screen, everything. Principal comes on. Today we're going to witness history. We're all like, okay, what are we witnessing? And he
Hold on, 9th grade. I'm trying to do the math. 1985?
Ninth grade was 1985.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So he's
Just to know where I'm at in the 80s.
I think you know what's coming. So
Wait, so it hadn't? Oh, I think I know.
yeah.
Go.
So all right. Today we're going to witness history.
Oh my god! Yeah, dude.
The entire school.
Oh my god!
It's like what Pasadena High. There was maybe like 600-700 students sitting there.
Yeah.
The entire gym. The auditorium is full. So they line wire to the TV channel. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Space Shuttle Challenger is about
That's
to...
86, Harry.
86.
That's 86. That was January 86.
January 86. But
Yeah,
85,
but you're still 90 you're still
85
ninth grade.
years
Yeah, you're
because
still ninth
ninth
grade.
grade, I'm going into 86.
Yeah.
So, All right, we're sitting down. Okay, the freaking. Oh, nice. Okay, they're giving commentary about the space shuttle taking off. The space shuttle starts taking off.
First woman, first
Sally
African American space.
All the great.
She was actually the first teacher.
She was a teacher. She wasn't even an astronaut. She was a teacher.
That's
that
right.
They brought up.
Yeah, first teacher, first African. A great moment in America for all of us. This was a unifying moment for all races and people.
This is a moment in American history.
Yes.
We're all witnessing.
You know they're not dead, right? You know they're not dead.
Wait till Tripoli gets here. We'll talk about that.
I swear to God, they're not dead.
Okay. But
they're
anyway,
still alive.
Even if that's true, which we don't want to get red
Look
flag.
it up. I'm not going to get into it on the podcast.
Okay.
Google Challenger pilot and everybody, Challenger crew. They're still alive.
We're talking about kids from 13 to 17 sitting there, or maybe some 18-year-olds, the dumb ones that haven't graduated on time. 13 to 17 sitting there watching this. We're kids.
Yeah.
Everything. The space shuttle takes off. The excess thing drops off of it. Next thing you know, okay, something. Wait a minute, is that supposed to happen?
It was the afterburners.
The teachers lost their minds. The person that was doing the
projecting.
The projector, he didn't know what to do. No one knew what to do. All right, everyone, we're gonna go back to class. The kids didn't know what happened.
No,
we didn't know what happened.
Oh, we knew what happened.
I knew what happened. Most kids didn't care. They were just happy to be out of class. So basically, we all, as a school, witnessed a traumatizing event.
Oh yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
No, it's my favorite thing to ask guys that were in kids in the 80s.
Right.
Like, how did it? Because that was your guys's.
Yes, that was
Columbine was ours. That was our first big you went to school the next day and it was different.
But ours was so different because it was presented as such a great national moment, and then right before our very eyes, the whole thing comes not crashing down, exploding. Imagine.
But you want to know how old school one of my teachers was? He goes, "That's why I don't have women on." He goes, "That's why I don't have women on ships." As if the woman had anything to do with that. I know, man.
You know what NASA stood for after that, right? Need another 7 astronauts.
Oh no.
I heard at NASA they stopped serving.
This looks bad.
Okay, can I please?
I heard that NASA they had to start serving Sprite in the vending machines. You want to know why?
Why?
Because they couldn't get 7-Up.
Oh my god.
I heard that.
See, I'm laughing about it because they're all alive. Nobody died. Okay, I know that nobody died. Google it.
I don't know if you know this, but a lot of black people don't want to become astronauts. You know why?
Why?
They don't want to say yes, NASA, no NASA.
Oh shit, Harry, that's terrible.
Harry, that wasn't funny, dude. Come on,
That's
man.
terrible.
You're better than that.
Terrible, Harry.
Harry John.
What? I'm just saying.
Terrible, Harry.
That's the thing. And I see why America, because when you guys were kids, when I was a great documentary to watch, not just for what I don't even it's very contested now. And a lot of people are saying he's bullshit, whatever. But the one documentary I want everyone to watch to kind of see what we're talking about, because I remember my childhood in the 90s and it was remnants of the 80s. Watch that The Last Dance with Michael Jordan. Forget anything to do with the actual basketball. Look at the crowds and look how happy.
That's so, dude. That's odd that you mentioned that, or it's kind of ironic.
Or no. Do this. Sorry, let me go on YouTube.
Yeah.
Or if you want to do that, go on YouTube, type in graduate, my year. Type in graduating class of 2008. Type in graduating class of 97, 2002, anywhere up until I think 2000, 12. Okay. Every comment will be, or not every comment, but a majority of the comments will be, I'm 15, 16 years old now, and I don't get how everyone in these videos looks so happy. My high school, no one looks like this. What was going on in schools back then because dude, the thing is,
you know what? I can understand that.
Yeah, because the thing, we grew up in Rambo America.
Yeah.
Dude, you're lucky to be here.
Yeah.
The way my grandparents and still do talk about America or my family and thing, and it's just you don't hear that from non-immigrant families anymore.
No.
You don't hear white people loving the country. That video of that Armenian guy telling that liberal white dude, try to burn this flag.
Right.
And it's like that gave me goosebumps the first time. Yeah, literally, because it's like, dude, this is has been the center of my argument the entire time of not only my pride to be Armenian, but how Armenians in America should act and what we should aspire to be.
Which
things like that
blows my mind when I see liberal Armenians, because we escaped that mentality as far as socialism and eventually communism to come here.
Yes.
And they want to bring it back here.
Yep.
I don't get it.
It boggles the mind.
It's beyond comprehension to me. where you don't you want the best for your family, your kids? Don't you want them to have the opportunities to move up?
Well, bro, I'm going to say something right now. It's going to offend maybe a lot of people, maybe no one, maybe it'll wake a lot of people up to it. The thing is this, you'll never see a successful, happy guy who's like killing it, great family, great house, like a garage filled with arcade and a bar and a podcast. You'll never see guys like that wanting communism, wanting a change in the system, because you have you work so hard and have so much to lose because of that hard work that you go, why would I? It's so easy.
Unless they're a politician peddling it on people that have no idea what's coming to them.
You know who was doing it the most? It's that guy, that liberal guy in that video I was just talking. It's a 40, 50-something-year-old white dude who failed at life, didn't take advantage. When I meet 50-year-old, like people who grew up in this country and they aren't killing it, I'm like, bro, how did you miss out on the greatest time to be successful in America? Like, what the fuck were you doing that, like, you're working at this, or like whatever? I'm not downplaying anyone's job, I'm not saying, but it's like, dude, the amount of opportunity and money that was in this country when I was a kid compared to now is vastly different. My point being is, like, that's the type of person who wants to, and that's the people, not to make it sound so basic and elementary, literally elementary, and sound like very childish, but we literally let the loser kid in high school that no one liked, like, run the show. And it's like, guy, like,
we call him Elon now.
Yeah, or like, we call him, no, you know what we call him? We call him Chuck Schumer. We call him, who's that late night guy that I hate? Colbert.
Take your pick.
We call it, like, it's like none of the guys that I see on TV or in politics or anywhere are the type of guys that I would ever, as a young man, be like, I want that guy's life, body, money, whatever, this and that thing, or like aspire to be. And they did that on purpose. They don't want to give you like a thing of, like, that's the beauty of royal families. Like, the reason why they want to take the royal, like, this globalist shift to, like, remove the royal family out of England and get them all to be irrelevant. The reason for this is royal families, princes and kings, set a standard for a society. A man knows, I'll never be king, but I have a king, and I need to live in a way, like, in a kingly manner. And, like, this is my country, this is my culture. America, we didn't have princes and kings. We had royal families that were built on success, aptitude, smart. You weren't born royal in this family. You became royal in this country. Or not family, country, my apologies. But that's like the one thing that America lost, is that thing of like, you know what, I can't be a Carnegie or a Rockefeller now, but let me work for it.
Who says?
Give me that opportunity.
That's the beauty of this country.
Yeah.
You can become another Carnegie or Rockefeller.
Yeah.
That's what America is, a land of opportunity.
You know what?
You're absolutely right.
I pray and I hope that still holds true, but Klaus Schwab just recently said elections are irrelevant.
Of course they are, because they rig it.
Well, and the thing
I don't know if you guys know who that leader of the WEF.
Well, because he sees the writing on the wall.
And he's in charge. He's actually leading the charge,
guys. This is the scary part. For 30 years, I've been freaking preaching this shit, and all my friends say, "Dude, get your tinfoil hat off. You're fucking imagining this shit." This is what scares me. Okay, I knew this shit coming years ago. They were operating in the shadows.
Mm-hmm. Now they don't care.
Now they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
That's what scares me. Okay, they're operating with impunity, and they're basically saying, "This is who we are. This is what we're going to do, and there's nothing you're going to do
about it."
You know how hard Democrats are going to be laughing when they see the overwhelming majority of Armenians still voting for them after what they did to us? Like, that's my one thing, that make the people who disrespected you, who ignored you, who make them pay. I know there's going to be a certain percentage of Armenians that no matter what I say or do, they will vote Democrat, because just like the American liberals that they got indoctrinated with. And the funny thing is, you will never meet someone who wants to be more of a white person, that like white Karen person, than an Armenian liberal who talks shit about white people. I'm like, bro, like you're trying to be this like suburban house mom who's like, I get what their mental, they all want to be that mom from The Blind Side who saves the kid and they're the hero of their story. But it's like, dude, you could be the hero of your own story by just being a good mom, by just being a good American, by being a good Armenian. You don't have to say and do all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
And the one thing that drives me crazy is I know you guys aren't going to change who you vote for. I know you're going to stay as ardent Democrat as before. That's fine. At the very least, have some self-respect and call out the people within your own party who don't give a shit about you but claim they do. That's the one thing I respect about Republicans. That's the one thing I've always liked about them. They'll look you in the eye and be like, I'm not going to do what you're asking me for, and I'm being honest with you. Sorry. And that's cost Republicans so many votes. Because the thing is this.
Well, that and dead people voted.
No, was Socrates or Plato? I can't remember. One of the greats who are now in the college setting. I don't know if you know this, but all these great philosophical European thinkers have now been reduced to the term dwim.
Yeah.
Dead white male.
Dead white males.
Yeah. So, that's great. But whatever. He said, look, you're going to like the Candyman more than you're going to like the doctor.
Yeah.
Because the doctor is going to poke and prod you and tell you things you're not going to want to hear, while the Candyman fills you up with sweets. But one of those is good for you. The other one is not. And to see my own people be so manipulated, so easily manipulated. The thing is this, I want to be upset about this if Democrats only promised to be helping us 4 years ago.
Right.
2 years. I'd be like, okay, give them some time, like let them figure it out. For 2030, my entire life now, I've been hearing, oh, and by the way, ANCA stabbed Bob Dole in the back.
Yes.
And Bob Dole was going to support Armenia. Our own organizations, liberal organizations,
96.
stabbed them in the back. If ANC wants to do anything, they should do a public apology to all Armenians for that idiotic behavior. That, I don't know if you guys know this.
They don't.
In Turning Point, a company that I worked for a third party that we made their memes and did all the the actual grunt work for them.
What, Charlie Kirk's company?
Yes.
Charlie Kirk's company, yeah.
Okay.
At one point, I worked at, I literally, some of their biggest memes I made.
Yeah.
Like, I literally thought of the entire structure of it and, sent to, people that I could actually make it look nice and whatever.
Right.
And make, an idea into reality. But I take massive amount of pride in that because I moved the needle in the conservative movement. Literally, there were, articles written about how their memes and their whatever. Anyways, point being is, these young conservatives, 20s, early 30s, would come up to me. They were infants or not even born when this election happened. They would still walk up to me and go, why didn't, after the 1988 earthquake in Armenia, why, and George Bush's, when Jeb Bush went to Armenia to help and do all this and whatever, or when Bob Dole said he was going to help, why didn't Armenians switch, why did they still, why do these Armenian if you talk to any educated Republican, they know, sorry to say, that Armenians are ardently Democrat, even when we don't even get help from them.
To their detriment,
To their detriment
Wasn't
that we
always
vote
like that,
Democrat.
though.
And these are young, non-Armenian Americans that they shouldn't know but they intimately are aware of every political group and how they vote and whatever, because that's their job. And they even see they're dumbfounded by it. They go, all these Hillary Clinton and Bill, they didn't even say anything about the Bob Dole was pushing it, whatever. Why didn't it?
He led a convoy to Armenia after the earthquake. Bob Dole did.
Yeah.
Bob Dole in '96 was running against Clinton. The ANC endorsed Clinton.
And
Clinton was not going to lose that election.
Okay, but I mean,
doesn't matter.
That's not the point.
Yeah,
That's
I
not the
know.
point.
I
The
know what
thing
you're
is,
saying.
you support and you show love, because you know what, that Bob Dole now has even though he didn't, God rest his soul. The one thing Bob Dole could have done, which Jeb Bush did behind the scenes, Jeb Bush told his staff, I'm never fucking helping these people again. Because of how, and that's a known thing. And that was actually, I learned that in working with Turning Point and having an American kid tell me that, Jeb Bush said this.
Low energy
after
Jeb.
that, whatever. So it's one of those, why, now if these are low level, not low, but you know what I mean? These guys aren't senators. If they already know Armenians aren't going to vote for them, why would they, why
There's
help?
no reason.
I've always wondered why politicians on a grand scale pander to us anyway. We're a very small minority in this
We're
country.
in the right pockets.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you don't see, like, okay, for example,
Well, locally, I'm sorry to cut you off, but
Not
locally,
local
it
elections.
makes perfect sense.
I'm talking on the grand scale,
yeah.
presidential elections and stuff. I mean, there's really no reason to pander to Armenians.
well,
let's be
there's
honest.
a lot of money in the Armenian. Like, that's the thing you learn very fast in politics is you pander to the people who can pay for your political career.
Yeah, that's true,
Who
too.
can pay for your your campaign and your marketing and all that. Literally, the governor of Arizona. I'm not saying, he loves Iranians.
Yeah.
And he's always trying to, but that's because Iranians hold him like a dinner and like a fundraiser every year.
Yeah.
To make sure he likes Iranians and to make sure, the people
Of
who run his
course.
fundraisers
Yeah.
are well taken care
In
of.
the old days, that was called greasing the wheel.
Yeah, exactly. No, literally, yeah. Literally, yeah. And like now we have these like, it's a fundraiser. But anyways,
Exactly.
yeah, like that's my one takeaway or like the one thing that I want to bash into like Democrat Armenian brains is have some self-respect, dude.
Well, I'm sure Adam Hamparian will be the first one to tell you. We fucking hate, Schiff and all these other politicians, but we need them. And they'll be the first ones to backstab you and behind closed doors.
Why do we need them?
Because they're the ones in power. And the ANC won't invest the time to go for candidates that will help them. That's their downfall. They instead of changing the system, they want to ride the system and ask for breadcrumbs. That's why I'm against what they're doing. Their strategy is flawed. Okay, They keep kissing the liberals' asses, which they know is going to win, and then they ask for stuff, and they're not going to get it. And then in the next 4 years, they keep asking for it. Here's a couple of breadcrumbs off the table. Here,
the only way, and this is why also...
What a joke.
No, and this is why also I say Democrat Armenians are such a detriment. I'm not talking about the ones that, maybe voted this way or that way or, the more independent-minded or central-minded. I'm talking about the ardent, left-wing, liberal, whatever. And you see it's all basically Armenian celebrities and influencers fall into that category, and except for...
Us,
you guys and wise nuts, yeah, literally. So, and then that's why I think this show and their show is the most important things for Armenia. Like, I want you guys to do a weekly show. Like, I need you guys.
That's the goal eventually.
Yeah, like I need you guys to like really understand how important you. Like, it doesn't like on the grand scheme of things, it doesn't seem that way, but the more content that's out there that's actually directing Armenians in the right way, because this is the thing, the massive damaging effect that Armenian Democrats have by not changing their vote, essentially letting Democrat leaders know I don't really need to do anything to earn these people's votes.
Right.
And then on top of it, letting Republicans know, why would I help these people? They're not going to vote for me. So by doing that, we completely negate any way that, look at Israel. Every single topic.
Miller High Life commercial.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Let's get a little more head in there. Oh, baby.
Tastes great.
Let's feel it.
Tastes great.
Look at that drip. Oh, that's sexy right there. That's sexy right there. Yeah, there we go.
Except it's an A&W mug.
Hold on. Here's a Miller time. Remember that? Miller time?
Oh, yeah. Do the song. Anyways,
Sorry, I'm a little buzzed right now.
No, you're good. Enjoy yourself, buddy. You're gonna have fun.
Are you telling that to the pipe hole?
The pipe hole.
People, listen up.
I'm fucking drunk, mate. I'm kissing the Blarney Stone. Hey.
No, but what's the? Let me. It's bad to cheers and not drink. Anyways,
Yeah, you got it.
no. My one thing is this: Democrats and Republicans are at each other's throats for every single topic or anything debatable in America. The one thing that they fight over the most on who does it more, not who disagrees more, but who does it more, is supports Israel or supports like Ukraine or like these random countries that they have some sort of either shady business deal behind the scenes.
By the way,
or,
I got results for tonight's New Hampshire primary result.
what are we looking at?
We had a huge victory. Huge.
All right. Nikki Haley, 43.6% of the vote, which is more than I expected.
Way more than I expected, if I'm being honest, yeah.
Trump, 54.5. So,
like I said, Nikki Haley's a dog. I can't do Trump.
The only reason
all the presidents, I can't do Trump.
the only reason I brought it up is because you said support for Ukraine. Support for this is all Nikki Haley shit, right?
She's
up
a neocon
Oh, she's a
warmonger.
neocon rhino, fake Republican who will happily send American kids
die.
to get mutilated and die just so her investments in her stocks have a slight uptick.
Oh,
she would sell our country
speaking
in a
of
second
American
for that.
kids in the military, there's actually been a decrease in recruitment.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that
It's lowest,
the white males,
Yeah.
which comprise 45% of the military,
Yeah.
the recruitment dropped 30%.
Yes.
It's insane.
Yeah, because why?
We're woke. That's
Yeah.
why the military's woke. You got idiots like Miley preaching gender equality and all this bullshit, and these good old boys want nothing to do with it.
Well, no, it's like you want your soldiers to be the most narrow-minded. I would actually say, yeah, you want your soldiers to have zero imagination and to be the literal definition of myopic, meaning like lacking
Yes.
imagination thing of you have a job. You're a murdering machine. Like you're a machine that's made to kill other
unless
humans.
you're in the Air Force. But yes, I agree with you. The whole point of this, for
More
decades,
so if you're in the Air Force, because you're doing it on a massive fucking scale, dude. What the fuck are you saying, Ara John?
Come on, man. The Air Force, really? All you're doing is guarding warehouses for 18-hour shifts.
Oh yeah. But then the one guy in the plane, you
Sure,
know what I mean? Like,
that's
poor
fine.
guy.
I'm sure he feels a
evens
lot
out
of
the
guilt
numbers.
pressing a fucking button and dropping
Yeah,
a bomb.
seriously.
Yeah,
no, but
that
my
one poor
point is
guy.
this: for years, you ask any enlisted military man, okay, you don't see white, you don't see black, you don't see Asian, you don't see yellow, you don't see purple, you don't see brown. You see Marines, you see Navy men, you see Army men. Okay, they're brothers.
Yeah.
For decades, for
Yes.
centuries, this has been the
Yes.
case.
or as Obama said, corpsemen.
Corpsemen.
Yeah.
Now it's all identity. It's all tolerance. It's all,
Yes.
dude. The military has gone woke, and honestly, the military was the strongest thing America had going
Bro.
for it. We're done, dude. We're
the-
done. The
yeah.
world's laughing at us. I'm sorry. You have cross-dressing people in the army now. The Russians and Chinese are laughing.
The only reason why we haven't been swept away by our enemies is two reasons. One, geography. Two, our enemies are just as incompetent as we are.
I can't take it off, but I don't know if you guys could see this sign back there. You see that sign? It says buy war bonds. That was during World War II. That's
Yeah.
when the average American would
can
buy
zoom
war
in.
bonds to support the military.
If you're on your phone, you can zoom in.
Well,
We
yeah,
have
if you're on your
a-
phone, you can zoom in. Now, in today's military, it should say buy pantyhose. Because that's what our army men are wearing, which
Well, no.
is shameful.
we're at a point in our country where we're losing massive percentages of enlistment. 30%.
Yeah, 30%.
In World War II, white kids were hanging themselves.
Yes.
Oh, there were so many instances of suicide when a kid was not in, like they said, oh, you're either too short or you don't
Yes.
meet the physical requirements or this and that to be in the military. They were so damaged by that, and because they couldn't serve and fight and die for their country, that they go, why am I even wasting space here?
Exactly.
Like that was in such a short amount of time. And I always say, and I've said this so many times, I'm sorry, but like it's one of those things where if America's enemies wanted to do the same amount of damage that's been done in the last 10, 15 years, we wouldn't allow it to happen because we would look at it and they wouldn't even do it to the level that it's being done because they would say it's too obvious.
Yeah.
If America's enemies got control of all of our systems secretly and tried doing the same things that certain politicians and political leaders have done to this country, they wouldn't do it because they would say they're going to catch on to us.
Exactly.
But I don't even want to get into it.
The whole
whatever.
root of it comes to the decaying of the fabric of the nature of this country. And you
Yes.
know what's crazy is Paul Harvey had a monologue way back in the 60s.
Yes, I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
Prophetic. It was prophetic.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's heard it, but if you haven't, look it up on YouTube. Paul Harvey, 1960s.
Good night, and I wish you a pleasant tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He predicted everything
Yeah.
List
that
by
is
list.
happening now.
It's scary,
Yeah,
eerie, dude.
and the stuff that you see on TV where he says, I would make sex so cheap and readily
Yes.
available
Yeah.
and being married, and I would take God out of the house and I would mock people
Yeah.
who were godly. And it was, I saw it growing up. I was a very God-fearing Christian kid.
We all were.
We all were, and then something
Shit, I
happened.
didn't masturbate till I was 16 years old.
Well, you know,
I didn't want Jesus to see me, and so I did it under the covers.
if my family wasn't watching, I would be making
He doesn't have X-ray vision. You're right.
funny jokes. But I see why you squint so much when we talk. Like, all right. You made up for lost time, huh?
That's right.
Oh yeah.
That's right. I went blind from 21 to
Oh, yeah.
26.
So no, man, it's literally one of those things where you can't say anything other than there is a element in this country who, for lack of a better term, wanted to see it fail, whether that be for personal financial
Yeah.
gain, like we're seeing with Nancy Pelosi and insider trading,
Yeah.
or whatever weird, like how Obama secretly, I mean, the stuff that I heard him say behind the scenes, or like about how he's like, yeah, America's had its time, or, you know, like certain, like just his language, or how he went and the first thing he did as president was go to all these Middle Eastern countries and apologize for, and it's like, I get it. America wasn't the best country ever. We weren't always the good guys, always this, but it's like, give us a break, dude. At one point we were the only country with nuclear bombs and a standing military that had completely been decimated. And the entire world could have been the United States of the World Republic, whatever. And we were like, instead of doing that, we're going to give you guys money and help you rebuild. We turned Germany and Japan into countries that we're jealous of.
Yeah.
We helped them so much that their cities are better than American cities. They're
100%.
newer, they're, you know, all this stuff. That's who Americans are. We make mistakes, but it's not our, you know, center focus.
I want to thank Sidan for actually typing the title of the monologue. It was called
If I Were the Devil. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't looked it up, go ahead and YouTube it.
Yeah.
It's scary.
No, bit by bit, every single thing that's wrong with America now, he brings up, almost like he could foretell what direction we were going.
There's
And-
also that Russian, I can't remember his
Yuri
name.
Brezhnev.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He did it in the 80s, early 80s, but he also laid out a perfect plan, which is happening like right before our eyes right now.
Well,
So-
dude, the one thing that America needs to do very fast is look at McCarthyism as that was a saving moment, or that was a man trying to save this country. And the way that my college professors, or even in the past, I would hear people, you know, historians, some, you know, obviously left-leaning historians talk about McCarthy, who is the senator that went after all the people who were
Joe McCarthy.
They were all the people who were secret communists in Hollywood and in politics and all of that. And they treat this guy like he's literally like the next Hitler. And I'm like, the guy who was trying to save America, like, oh, a screenwriter couldn't get a job screenwriting because he wanted to write radical communist films. Propaganda,
Yeah.
which still happened. And this is so they kick him out, whatever, McCarthyism goes away. I take a film history class at a community college. This was before I actually finished one of my attempts to finish college. And this was a very idiotic point in my life where I thought I was going to be the next Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford. I was in my mid-20s, whatever. I don't want to get into it.
Nothing wrong with that.
And the reason also being is Scottsdale Community College had one of the best film schools in the country. Like they were literally, because so many people would retire to Scottsdale from New York and LA, that they would call in favors from like studios and things, and be like, oh, hey, send me those new cameras, that whatever. And they would. So it was one of the top, I think in the top 3 best film schools when I went. And so I'm in there and whatever, I'm taking a film history class and we're watching The Graduate.
Yeah. Dustin Hoffman, man.
Yeah. And I'm watching The Graduate.
I
And
think
I'm
it was
watching
Arthur Miller directed that, didn't he?
I'm not sure who directed it. Maybe.
I'm not sure. Let me.
The
I
point
think it
of
was
the
Arthur Miller.
the point of the movie, and this is 1970. This is when
Mike Nichols.
Mike Nichols.
Mike Nichols, who's to be married to Meryl Streep, I think. Oh, I know too much. Okay, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Anyway, I like the trivia. Anyways, point being is you watch this movie and this is considered an American classic and a great. This movie is if I wanted to write a movie about bashing America and I was a diehard communist, I would write The Graduate, because it's literally telling you, hey, you can be a young college dude. You can do everything your parents tell you, still come out and hate the system and not be anything. Also, if you're an old dude and you're successful, your wife is going to probably sleep with a young guy. And when they were all saying plastics, that was a big thing that our teacher wanted us to focus on. And at the end of the movie, they go, oh, why did they say plastics so much and this and that? Like, you should invest in plastic, or the future of America is plastic, whatever. And kids would raise their hands and, you know, do the whole because it's going to make money and whatever. I go, no, because they're basically saying America is fake and it's made of plastic and you're living a very plastic life if you live in America. And it's basically, and the happiness this teacher got being like, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, so yeah, this was like a very anti-American. And then you go back and you watch certain shows and certain movies and you see this underlying anti-American sentiment to it. That
Hollywood's been programming us for decades.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Yeah. The fucking CIA had to go into Hollywood,
Operation Paperclip.
Yeah, like there's so many instances and examples where you're like, dude, the people who are supposed to be entertaining us, like my MTV thing with the Real World. China right now isn't allowing their kids to use TikTok unless there's creative, constructive things that make them a smarter, better person.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Out here, we're doing stupid somersaults into fucking pools and getting millions of views. The TikTok is a subliminal, it's a psychological warfare machine by China.
Bro,
it was implemented on purpose to dumb down the U.S. public. That's what it was.
Exactly.
So men recently in the West took an interest in the Roman Empire. God forbid we take an interest in something other than like a Dan Bilzerian type, sleep with as many women as you can and be this like money making Andrew Tate, only focus on your money, whatever, this and that bullshit that like it's literally controlled opposites. They want you to be that douchebag so they can be like, they want you to be Andrew Tate. They made him famous so they can be like, look at how much of a clown you are, just like Andrew Tate, whatever. My thing that I completely lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, boys.
Roman Empire.
I'm sorry. The Roman Empire trend that was big like last month where women would go ask their husbands or boyfriends or whatever, mom, son, this and that, how often do you think of the Roman Empire? And most all answers. And the guys that would say like once a week or, your general dudes, your night, whatever, your bros. And then the guys were like, I never think about it. They're like your Bill Gates, like beta. I don't even take them seriously. My point being is we had one thing, right? I'm not saying they took it away, but it's so funny how it's like, oh, men are interested in this historical topic. Let's make fun of that and make that like a joke and a trend to show you. Instead of it being like, oh, Roman Empire, what do you know about it? Like it's like, guys, this guy thinks of the Roman Empire like twice. He thinks about history. Isn't that fucking ridiculous?
Why would you even think of that?
Why would you think about that? Like, look at this girl shaking her ass, or like, look at this OnlyFans model. Right. Look at this podcast that's telling these OnlyFans models that they're gross, but then gives all of their names and usernames
and their apps,
and plubs them and their apps and stuff. So it's like what are you're promoting?
Profile address
critical thinking is frowned upon in this country.
Anything that's outside of,
by the way,
the herd mentality.
Arthur Miller was the Crucible. Thank you, Sidan.
There we go. Perfect.
And the Crucible is literally an allegory on McCarthyism.
Yes, I knew I had the connection in my brain, but 4 beers in and I'm
that's
fucked
why
up.
You kept saying that.
Yeah. But thank you, Sidan. Thank you for that. So actually, interesting point. You brought up the Roman Empire. You guys know one of the main reasons why the Roman Empire crumbled?
There were plenty of reasons.
No, the main reason. It was the catalyst for it. Gender dysphoria. Yeah. Guess what's happening in America right now?
Yeah.
Gender dysphoria.
I need you to go a little bit more into it. What do you mean?
I can't because I'm a fucking four Modelo Zeep. But basically, when men stop being men, that's when empires fail.
Yeah.
Hold on, though. The Roman Empire was widely known for men.
No. Until the end with Caligula.
Yeah, they reached a point in the Roman Empire,
correct,
where they looked at like militaristic lifestyle and like the glory of like war and all of that, which made Rome what it was.
Yep.
Right.
They viewed that as like archaic, and it's like, oh, we're like more advanced than that now. We're more about the arts, and we're more about like how I feel. It's not the same gender dysphoria now, where it's like the trend, but it was men essentially being like, I need to make sure my hair is olive oiled perfectly and brushed out, and I have like the shiniest, like cleanest white robe. Where Caesar's time, it was like they took pride. What did Marcus Aurelius said? Do as the Spartans do, sleep on a hard bed. You know what I mean? Like it was one of those things where the Rome was built the same way America was.
Yep.
On masculinity.
Yep.
On men saying, I have this opportunity and I'm in an empire or a country that I can go from a lowly soldier. Caesar, when he was 30 years old, cried when he saw a statue of Alexander the Great, and he cried because, and when one of his fellow soldiers asked him like, "Why are you crying?" He goes, "At 30, or I'm sorry, I forget how old Alexander the Great was.
29.
He was 29.
He goes, he conquered the world. Alexander the Great conquered the world in his 20s, and I'm 30, and I'm a soldier. Like, I'm a nobody.
Yeah.
Right.
But
But like, he believed in it. Like, he was like, you know what? I'm going to fight my way to be like an Alex. And he
Sure.
did. Because Rome allowed that. You could be you could be born a pleb and die a senator.
That's right.
The same way America was
Right
established
here.
of
Yeah.
like, hey, you fight hard enough, you work hard enough, you will end up where you want to end up. Trust me.
There's a lot of allegories right now with the Roman Empire and the American
Yeah,
Empire, guys.
and literally that does when it,
people
that
are blind
stopped,
to it.
Yeah,
Or
when
parallels.
that stopped, when Caligula, when it was all the rich kids, when it was all the senators' kids being
Yes.
emperor or dictator, and not the guy who literally fought his way there. Who his military. What's crazy about this? We say crossing the Rubicon as like a
Right.
common saying and whatever. We don't think about how deep and how meaningful that means, and why why you should live a life that you command the same respect as Caesar. Caesar didn't cross the Rubicon alone. He wasn't going to Rome alone to take his crown. He went there with an army of men who would die for him more so than they would die for Rome.
Exactly.
You need to have men and leaders of that caliber where other men look and go, if this man tells me to go die for him,
I'll do
to
it.
go destroy my own city for him, I'll do it.
We had
I'm
that.
not saying in a dogma, like what is it, in a terrorist type
Right,
of
right.
like extremist way.
Sure.
But I'm talking about a culture that it values itself so much that when men see a personification of that, what their cultural aspirations are, they say we need to protect and we need to fight for this as hard as our own fucking city. That's a symbol of it. Because if this man dies, that symbol dies with him.
Exactly.
Because Rome isn't a city. It's a collection of men with a shield and a sword in their hand. It's not a bunch of fucking senators and congressmen and presidents and things sitting in whatever in their Senate halls, and just it was men on the battlefield saying, I will die to protect Rome. The same way 17-year-old kids, a metal door collapsed down. Side note, if I'm ever anxious about things, or if I'm ever nervous about, let's say, like coming on this podcast tonight, I'm like, oh, I hope I don't say something stupid, or I hope they like me, or I hope more than 5 people watch. We were hitting 12. We're doing great.
We got up to 17.
Oh, very nice. But
That's
yeah, literally, in moments of fear and anxiety, the one way I get myself out of that, I don't do a breathing exercise. I don't say all my blood, what I'm grateful for. I literally go, dude, 17-year-old boys in this country, a fucking metal door collapsed, and we're supposed to run on a beach while the most sophisticated German machine guns of that time were aimed at them, and they ran into those bullets. What are you afraid of,
Beaches
bro?
of Normandy, man.
What are you afraid of? Or like a test or like a thing? Yeah. Like that's that warrior ethos transcends outside of that young kid that died in Alabama, that 17-year-old that went to Normandy and died, is helping a 30-something-year-old Armenian American kid 100 years later, trying to make sense or trying to move forward boldly in the world. Like that's what America lost, or that's what we're losing. And if we don't rapidly grab it and pull it back, we're never going to have it.
Memes are funny,
100%,
but memes are true. There's one meme that says, "What happened to men?" and it has on one side the guy in the military garb coming back home from war, and then it has on the other side like Jaden Smith, Will Smith's son, with a freaking skirt on.
Yeah.
What happened to men?
Yeah. And look, I'm not saying I want every person to live their life and to be free and to do whatever. That's fine. I'm just saying those aren't the people who you should make the center of your culture. You make the people the center of your culture, that they're the ones that they uplift it and they make everyone around them believe in the system. If you start making all these celebrities and all these people famous, and then you start making these people who hate America prominent in America, guess what? Everyone's going to start hating America.
Right.
Because I even catch myself doing it too when I see certain things on the news and I'm like, and you can't help it sometimes because you see it so much. You just think to yourself, I fucking hate this country. But then you go, oh no, I don't hate this country. I hate this person who's bringing this country down.
Back to Harry's point. The reason why you have that meme is because hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. Right now, we're at the last stage of that. So when are we going to get back to the hard times creating strong men?
No, I don't know, guys. It's a whole, like, there's so many ways that we and you guys are doing it. You two, especially the Wise Nuts guys, this is one thing that I'm always harping on, and I'm telling them constantly. I go, we need you guys more than you think we do. Like, it's such a desperate situation that we're in that I need every Armenian guy who's logical and understands what this fight is all about to be making content, to be filling the void with our voices. Because unfortunately, this is the thing. I'm not trying to name names or get into a fight with anyone, but there are so many Armenians, celebrities, influencers, comedians, whatever, that on a day, I look at what they make and I'm like, you are bringing us down so much by making, you don't understand the damage this does. The same way when I would go around LA and I would see Armenian last names on buildings and I go, oh, I could be this. Right. When an Armenian kid sees another Armenian acting like a idiot online and insulting Armenians, that kid thinks I could do this too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's why. And then when Armenians kids see two conservative men in a building that they've paid for and that they built, you know what I mean? Like, or that this is all of their doing. They're not in like asking random people bullshit questions and get like, or whatever in their parents' house, making Armenian comedy. It's like, bro, focus on like being an adult first and then make your funny little like bullshit, whatever skits. Anyways, my thing being is you guys, Wise Nuts, any Armenian podcaster who is actually, or influencer, media person, memer, that isn't making the typical bullshit like Armenian liberal stuff, you guys are gonna be what eventually saves, in my opinion, Armenian culture in America, which transcends to Armenian culture in Armenia. Yeah. Because Armenians in Armenia watch what we do more than we watch what them. Oh my
God, you have no idea. I didn't know. My buddy owns property there. He goes back and forth.
Yeah.
He says, he tells me, he says, we were talking about something and your name came up. I'm like, with who? He's like, my property manager. I go, in Armenia?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. I go, how does he know who I am?
Yeah.
He goes, he watches you.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That like completely took me back. He goes, he follows you on Instagram. He watches you on Bros and Brews. He knows who you are.
Bro, look at that Eddie kid that he does all those like Dolmi Pashur and those.
Yeah.
Bro, he's in Armenia. Everyone recognizes him.
That's insane.
Everyone like
I have no idea if people knew who I am in Armenia. Bro, but I guess they do.
Bro, are you kidding me? I can guarantee both of you have a lot farther reach than you realize. Like, it's one of the... Bro, I look at like sorry to be narcissistic.
Base, you know what I'm talking about? Levon, my friend Levon. He told me. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
No, but like the insights on Instagram where if you're like, or whatever, it tells you what city people are... Yerevan, Tbilisi.
Yeah, I get a lot from
like
Yerevan.
You know what I mean? It's like a
my music reaches out those places. I didn't know my podcasts.
But to be fair, I don't do a lot of Armenian content on Instagram. Like my last post was my two kids singing Alan Jackson, Little Bitty.
Well, yeah, you're in that phase now where like your family. Well, no, that's what. Okay, honestly, that's what social media should be.
Yeah,
it should be. This is my life. This is my family. This is the people I love. This is my forever photo album.
So the cute thing is, my daughter, who's 5, she goes, "Dad, let's do a video every day and post it on Instagram."
So cute,
Shana. Yeah. It's actually pretty cute.
What I was saying is backing up what you were saying. Basically, you're right. Not just us, anyone that has got positive messages to bring out to the community has to do it. You know,
the onus is on us, man.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
You guys already start like that's one thing that I'm very happy about is the amount of Wise Nuts. You guys, I think it's going to be like the start of a lot of people going. You know what? I have something to say. And I didn't think anyone was going to listen or like that. Like this wasn't something that like is popular, but I guess it is. Oh, thank you, sir.
You got it, man.
The beers are flowing, baby.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Legit. It's such a, the way I view the internet, like the internet is more of a not a battlefield, but it's more important to have your voice on the internet than at any march or any sort of like political rally, unless that political rally is online. Reason being, sorry to say, as much as we've marched, as much as we've done,
It hasn't done much.
which, by the way, another point I wanted to bring up, another thing that I want you guys to know, and like hopefully like LA Armenians watching, that I am so, after living in Los Angeles for over a year,
Yeah.
dealing with the traffic, having goals and aspirations and like, work to do and all this, and having to navigate and live in Los Angeles while doing that. The fact that Armenians show up for marches, the fact that they make time, and if you don't live in LA, you don't know this, you have to fucking bust your ass to make ends meet here. To just like break even or like sustain your life, you can't take what feels like a half a day off, let alone like entire days and every day a year, or shutting down. After you live in LA and you see how much it costs to live here and to exist in Los Angeles, you go, the fact that all of these over 100,000 Armenians at one point took the day off.
Yeah.
To go and march and
It's
support their
crazy to
people.
say, but there are only two classes that have it made here: the extremely rich and the extremely poor. Everyone else is screwed.
Well, we don't have a middle class American.
We
anymore.
have
No, it's
no
gone.
middle class here.
To be middle class America, you have to be making $174,000
Yeah, I saw that today. The Instagram, you saw that?
That's America, and multiply that by at least 2.5 times in LA.
So back to Matt's point about protesting. Since we went to an Armenian school, every year we'd protest. When we were younger, we go to the genocide monument in Montebello and say the prayers and listen to politicians.
Oh yeah, all the chicks were there.
Well, yeah, exactly. It became a pickup.
It became a pickup spot
You
for
know,
us,
all the
bro.
chicks from different schools were there, and you start hanging out with them. But when we got older, you start going to the protests. You go to the Turkish consulate on Wilshire Boulevard and all that stuff. So this is in God, what year was this? 2010. So 2010, my brother-in-law had a comedy tour in Canada called Bigger and Better. Angela Thrukes. So we had our shows in Toronto that weekend of April 24th.
Our first guest on Bros and Brews, by the way.
Yeah, he was our first guest
ever.
And so we were in Toronto, and we did Montreal in December, and we went back in April for Toronto, and 3 shows, and it was April 24, and I had friends that live in Toronto. And I go, okay. I want to go to the protest today. Let's go to the protest. And we're in downtown Toronto. And my friend's like, what protest? I'm like, well, don't you guys protest the Armenian genocide out here? He goes, for what? The Canadian government already recognized it years ago. I'm like, well, shit, let's go grab a beer.
Guess the job's done.
It was such a culture. It was a shock to me, you know?
Like, wouldn't even register that. Even now that America recognizes it, I'm like, we should still go march.
Well, we do.
We
We do.
feel like we did.
I wish we were here in 2015, man. We had 160,000 people.
Yeah.
That was
And 160,000 people, the police said we didn't even need to be there. The businesses that we walked by all said they cleaned up after themselves.
No issues.
No issues, no destruction, no rioting, no whatever. And this is a people who are fighting for something that's been ignored for over 100 years.
Exactly.
And I still came with that sort of class and that sort of dignity. And that's what I'm saying. I came to LA very much afraid that in the time that I lived here so far, I would become very cynical.
Wait, sorry, they're not paying us.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. No, very sorry.
If they want to pay us, I'll turn it back around.
Modelo, balls in your court, bro. Balls in your court. Beers and Bros, hit me up. I'm their manager. I'm their business manager. We'll talk about percentages, my cut, and then we'll wet their beef.
I don't even
But
care that he didn't say it right. Yeah, beers and bros.
Bros and Brews, Bros and Brews.
As long as you guys pay.
We'll change it to beer. We'll change it to Modelo and Bros. Bros and Modelo.
100% we'll change it.
What about that checkbook, bro? I'll tattoo it. No, literally, it's oh my god, I keep. Dude, we
Speaking of beer, are we still pissed off at Bud Light, or did that pass?
Listen, as long as Dana White is cool with it, I'm cool with it. And I'll tell you why. Dana is on the right side of 99.9% of everything that I agree with. So if he's going to use them as a spot, well, he's going to sponsor them. He's going to bring them into UFC. It means that he's looked into it and he's okay with it, which means that he wants to help out the people that work at Bud Light. Because if we boycott Bud Light, it's not about the executives. They're still going to get paid. They're still going to get everything. It's going to trickle down to the people that are on the plant, the people that are packaging it, people that are driving it. Those are the people that are going to be affected.
Can I still boycott Bud Light because it's piss beer?
Yeah.
Can I give a counterpoint?
You can, but I think my argument is pretty solid. But you can.
Bud Light sucks.
I don't drink Bud Light. So
I was pre the Dylan Mulvaney. I was a big Bud Light guy. I love Budweiser. Every time I would drive by the what is it on the 405? I would drive by
Roscoe.
the factory.
Yeah.
I love doing
it's Roscoe.
or anytime I was across
You're
the
thinking
street.
of Miller
I
on the
almost said
210.
Irwindale. You're right. I almost said Irwindale.
No, my favorite thing to do is when I would get my Tommies that's across the street, I would drive by.
God, I haven't had Tommy's in years.
I've been to that Tommy so many times.
Oh, that 24 hour, like it's 3 o'clock, you're hammered, you need something to eat. That's like a go-to. And, my favorite thing would be to roll down the window and yell, big fan of your work. Love you guys. Like, keep up the great. You know what I mean? Like, love you. Like, whatever. Drive by, get back on the freeway. Everyone in the car would laugh. It was always like a good whatever. It was always a solid whatever joke, a solid bit. Point being is when I'm not trying to say the Starbucks thing was like such a big, like, oh, wow, how dare they? But it's like, look, if Budweiser came out tomorrow and was like, we're pro Armenia, we want to make sure I wouldn't say it publicly, but mentally, like, the fuck does a beer company
Exactly.
have to, like, thank you.
Listen, I agree they made
appreciate
a
it.
mistake. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they were right. In
No,
what they did.
but like the thing is I need these companies to realize, and this is even my own politics.
The person that made that decision. She's gone.
No, but now all these companies are like, oh, our cute little political message can cost us billions. Yeah, let's just sell the products that we are known to sell, and let people make their own political choices.
This goes back to the backlash of wokeness, dude.
Yes.
Wokeness, go woke,
20 years ago, if McDonald's interjected themselves into politics, I'd be like, make your Big Mac and shut up.
They did.
What are you doing?
They did.
That wouldn't happen when we were kids.
Well, I know, exactly.
Bro, like, you wouldn't ever think Starbucks would, like, there would be a press release for Starbucks. You're like, bro, you make the coffee. Like, what are you
Exactly.
saying, my guy?
Exactly. Am I forgetting something about McDonald's? What did they do?
McDonald's actually supported Palestine.
Bro, they supported, I'm
When?
not saying they shouldn't have, but like,
Dude, like months ago when
I
this
didn't
war
see
broke
that.
out,
I didn't see
yes,
that.
everybody's pissed off at McDonald's for supporting Palestine.
or Israel.
Was it Israel?
Yeah, it was. Oh, no.
Starbucks.
I remember now. No, it was McDonald's. It wasn't about supporting Israel.
Here, I'll bring it up.
I'll tell you what it was. They took it as that because the cups were in that the blue Israel flag color tone. It had the same the same hue.
So there you go.
The
Yeah.
same tint. But it wasn't like an outright support of Israel. People took it that way. So I don't know if McDonald's did that purposely or it was just, interpreted that way.
Dude, I boycott McDonald's because their food fucking sucks.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sorry, it's poison. It's poison.
Dude. I found out.
Once you hit 40,
You don't say that
you
when
won't
you
eat
have your-
McDonald's.
Inch 40, bro. Me and Donald Trump have the same McDonald's order. You know what I found?
What is he?
Big Mac,
Oh, I love Big Macs.
filet of fish, large fries,
I love large fries.
and then I do Coke. He does Diet Coke.
I love that.
But me and 45, when we hit up the Mac or McDonald's,
Dude,
we're getting the same
when
thing.
I want to say Alabama, was it Alabama that won when
I know what you're talking. Yeah, when you had all the fast food companies. Yeah,
when they won the college football championship.
and they went to the White House.
Went to the White House instead of
Actually,
steak and whatever.
That's an awesome fucking spread.
I
was giving
agree.
it props on that.
100% I agree. If I'm a 19, 20-year-old kid, I don't want steak and mashed potatoes. I'd rather
Inch
have-
steak, and bro, they would the White House, it's always the most random,
I'm just
chicken
saying.
and minch.
I'm just saying. I'd rather have McDonald's. I'd rather have Big Mac and fries and
But dude,
chicken
I'm
McNuggets.
sorry, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Sound off in the comments, but McDonald's fucking sucks.
No,
now.
it doesn't.
It's
No,
terrible.
no.
It's
No,
poison.
Okay, I'll say this.
Listen, I haven't had McDonald's in 2 years. because of what I'm doing nowadays. But I mean, I freaking love McDonald's. How do you not like the McRib? If nothing else,
The McRib is not even a pork sandwich.
who
It's a pork
gives a
byproduct.
crap? It's amazing.
Look, you're talking to a guy that eats Spam. Okay,
And I'm talking to a guy that
Spam
actually
is
eats
amazing.
McDonald's.
Yeah, I love Spam.
I love
Spam's good.
Spam too. I love
Dude, I
Spam
make
too.
Spam musubi for the kids.
Bro, I eat Spam now because I can.
Hell yeah.
I eat Spam and eggs. I make it and I put cheese on
yeah,
top.
exactly. But for
best.
some reason, McDonald's just doesn't sit right.
What are you
with
talking
me.
about? You eat McDonald's a lot.
No, I
see.
don't.
Bro, no.
I
Okay,
don't.
you know why
I
it
haven't had
doesn't sit
McDonald's
right?
in over 2 years.
Get out of here.
I swear. I
know why?
haven't. The kids eat it. I don't eat it.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Well, bro,
Yeah.
literally the reason why is the amount of like soybean. I'm not trying to get into a whole conspiracy thing, but food in America, the same way food in the American military.
Ooh, I have something to say about that. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
the same way the
ahead.
food in the American military. Like I had buddies that when like they served in 90 during and post the first
Right.
Desert Storm.
Right.
Yeah.
Gym buddies, whatever. And they would talk about, they're like, yeah, our MREs sucked.
Yeah, they did.
But dude, like the food they would give us in like the chow hall, like, and like maybe it was because they were like, exerted a lot of energy and they needed
Yeah.
it. But he's like, dude, the food you ate, like I feel like they packed it with like way more protein or something. Like they made you
Preservatives.
Yeah, like or no, they said
Preservatives.
you felt like your strength coming back.
Yeah.
And that's literally, and you can see what you're like. Yeah, why wouldn't the military pump their food with vitamins and like make it so it's
By
like?
the way,
No, they won't.
The McDonald's
They're
here,
highly caloric food that's allowed to stay with you for days. Have you guys ever had an MRE?
Yeah, no, it's a very like no sodium
Meatloaf
dense.
is 5,000 calories.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's designed when you're in battle. You eat for a day. You don't eat for 2 days.
You're good. Yeah.
But here's the thing. I have some.
Before we get off McDonald's, just so I can
Go ahead.
put the context here. The food, the McDonald's here and McDonald's overseas is completely different.
100%.
I had McDonald's in Australia. I had a Big Mac in Australia, and it tasted weird to me. Do you know why?
Because the meat's better.
Yeah.
100% all natural
Yeah,
beef.
That's
in
right.
Canada,
100%.
yeah, in Canada
100%.
too. It has to
Dude,
be
I
grass-fed.
fly into
Yeah.
Montreal. The
Yeah.
first thing my friends know that, okay, we're picking up Ara, we're going to McDonald's.
Oh yeah,
I want to go to a McDonald's in Canada because the food tastes better. The McDonald's Big Macs
bro. Why do you
taste
think
better out
there
there.
are
Yeah.
so many products we're eating on the American diet, and this goes back to it. It's like. I'm not going to say his name because I feel like YouTube is going to flag it, but that famous conspiracy theorist that we all love that he yelled out there turning the frogs.
Yeah, that guy.
So
That guy.
literally,
the guy that has almost the same name as Basil's son, the same first name. almost.
Jalix
Yeah.
Owens.
yeah, Palace Pones. So literally, literally, the guy like was saying this, and like now they're coming out. Yeah, like they don't need to hide it anymore. They're coming out with it, and they're like, oh yeah, cooking with these products, like warming your food up in this, stuff that we didn't know in the 90s. They wouldn't tell us, or they didn't feel like they needed to. They're like, oh yeah, we've known for a while. It messes up your endocrine system. It's horrible. It's like shoots your hormones. It jacks up your estrogen level if you're a dude. It jacks up your testosterone level if you're a girl. All of these things. It's one of those. It's our. Sorry to keep going back. This conspiracy thing, but it's. I feel like it's a concerted effort. Whoever's running America now, through media, through our food, through our politics, every single thing that can nurture or make a country better, they've taken control of, and they're doing the exact opposite of what you would do if you want to see your own people thrive and be happy and live in a successful country.
So Matt, let me tell you my story. 2 years ago, I was 323 pounds. Married, didn't care about my looks.
Yeah.
Didn't care. I'm off the market, right?
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm enjoying life.
Your wife loves you.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're like,
and and I realized
Sorry, I just read Chili Mac MRE is the best. I don't know about Chili Mac MRE, but Chili
Actually,
Mac.
yes,
Chili
Siron,
Mac.
it is. I've actually
is
had that.
amazing.
I was
haven't
going to
had
say
it in
the
a while.
macaroni.
Sorry.
I've had the macaroni and cheese MRE.
it's
not bad.
very good.
Yeah.
I actually have some for doomsdays. I'm kind of
nice.
a doomsday
Yeah,
prepper,
yeah.
so I have some for the kids. And
Why not?
I love the bubble gum. You guys know the whole purpose of the bubble gum?
Was it for morale?
No, it's not for morale. So you eat a calorie-rich meal.
Yes.
And it constipates you. It's designed to constipate you because
they
the
want you to
worst thing
hold
to
on
do
to
in
that,
battle, you go to take a shit.
Yeah.
So when you have to take a shit, you chew the gum. The gum is a laxative. So you chew the gum in 10 minutes, you go to the bathroom, you evacuate your bowels. But getting back to my point, I'll tell you guys a story. During COVID.
Tell us a story.
During COVID,
Sarah.
2020, my friends, we didn't fall into this fucking sequester and stay home bullshit. We were
didn't?
partying, barbecuing.
Oh yeah, we did.
And one of my friends brought some gummies, edible gummies.
Nice.
And I'm like, fuck, this makes me feel good. And I hated weed.
Yeah.
All through life, I hated smoking weed. But he's like, no, you're not smoking it, man. You just eat it and you get a buzz for 4 or 5 hours. I'm like, okay, I'll try it. I liked it. I liked it so much, I started doing it every fucking day.
Oh, no.
Well,
You're bringing it to work, bro.
No, dude, forget that. The kids go to sleep. I fucking pop a gummy, play some arcades, get high,
yeah.
go to sleep, right? This went on for a whole year until I started having panic attacks.
Yeah.
Then I didn't realize why I'm having panic attacks. So I start going to the cardiologist. Now, mind you, I'm having the munchies at night. So I'm eating.
Yeah.
Then I gain the weight. Then I start having a heart attack. Dude, New Year's
What the
Eve.
fuck?
Dude, New Year's Eve, Angie and me were literally watching Cobra Kai on the couch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you got to move. My arm's numb. She gets off my arm, but my arm's still not getting better. My heart rate goes up. I'm thinking I'm having a heart attack. This is my first panic attack.
Yeah.
I call the paramedics, and it's so funny, dude. My wife goes, you got to meet him outside. I don't want him coming in the house. They have COVID.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm like, all right, this is 2020, 2021, right? New
Yeah.
Year's Eve 2021.
Yeah.
So I walk outside. The fire engine comes up on the street. The guy's like rushing with the freaking
like,
defibrillator.
Andrew, we're not going to send people that have
Dude,
COVID here.
no, Harry, you got to hear this. The guy rushed up with the defibrillator. Who's having a heart attack? I go, me. He goes, can you please sit down? What are you doing? So he puts me on the machine. He goes, look, I hate to break it to you. You're not having a heart attack.
Yeah.
Are you sure? I go, I'm pretty sure I was having a heart attack. He goes, no.
You're having a panic attack.
Have you had a history of panic attacks?
Yeah.
And to that point, I never had it.
Yeah.
And, he goes, look, I can't take you anywhere. Hospitals are booked. Go to sleep. You're not going to die. Call your doctor next day. So that started an awakening in me because I went to my doctor, did a cardiology workup. Everything was fine. Okay. So then I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm fucked in the head.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's probably what it is.
That's what I thought, right? Because everything happened during the holidays, and I lost my dad during the holidays, and it was always
Not
hitting
that
me
year,
then.
but I mean.
Yeah, years ago.
Yeah, years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was that. So
I'm
anyway,
helping you with your story.
long story short, March 2022, I had a massive panic attack, and I went to the hospital. I thought I was having a heart attack. Again, same shit. You're fine, no heart attack, panic attack. They chalked it up to indigestion. 5 days later. So now here's the thing. I said, let me not take the gummies this week because shit's not fucking acting right.
Yeah.
5 days I don't take it. Have another panic attack. Massive for 6 hours.
Yeah.
I can't come down.
Yeah.
And long story short, I find out I have weed withdrawal. And this is a thing, okay? This is actually a thing. It's
Yeah.
called cannabis hyperemesis syndrome.
Yeah.
And I went through that, and I never thought I'd go through this. So what happened for 6 months, I went through nausea. I went through depression. I went through anxiety, anhedonia. Everything you can imagine I went through. I didn't eat anything. So the pounds started melting away because I couldn't eat.
Yeah.
So 6-7 months later, I feel great. And then life has a way of throwing curveballs. My mom gets sick, gets pancreatic cancer, dies. 3 weeks later, all the symptoms come back. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this.
No.
I had an awakening. I had an epiphany, okay? And I realized one thing. The second you are born in this world, in this country, you are a slave to the food industry.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
1,000,000%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Until you live to be an adult, you're eating processed food and poison till your 30s. Once you become pre-diabetic and diabetic, they hand you over to the pharmaceutical
Oh, they're
industry.
so happy when that, yeah.
Exactly. And then you are a slave to the pharmaceutical industry. Everything we have been taught about the food pyramid has been a lie. A lie.
Bro, at one point they told us eating a fucking foot long piece of bread
Yes.
was healthy.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, eat a foot of bread.
You know the story behind that, right? It was a Harvard professor
Yes.
that got paid off
Yes.
$5,000 back
like
in
the
1960.
grain- by the grain industry, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By the grain industry. $5,000. He got paid off to write a dissertation about that. Congress ran with it and created the bullshit food pyramid.
Same thing happened with sugar and fat. The sugar
Yes.
industry.
I have a
pumped,
story for that.
yeah, billions into making sure it was fat. That was, they said, make sure it says fat free.
Correct.
They don't want it to say sugar free and then so many Americans are going and eating fat free stuff, but because there's so much sugar in it, they're not losing weight, and they go, maybe I have a what is it called?
Thyroid problem.
I have like a thyroid problem. So it's like, no, dude, you're literally being fed poison.
I have a story almost similar to Basil's.
I do too, but I'll let you go first.
Well, hold on, Harry. Hold on. Before I finish, the point I'm trying to make
still
is
got
this.
more to go? Damn, bro.
June of this year, my A1C was 6.4.
All right, go.
6.4. I was pre-diabetic. My doctor's like, I got to put you on metformin. I go, you're not putting me on shit.
Fuck
I
yeah.
go, I know what I need to do, and I'm going to fucking do it.
Yeah.
What I do, I go on keto. I go on intermittent fasting, 20-hour days. 20-hour days.
Yeah.
Nothing but meat and butter, vegetables, meat and butter, vegetables. Exercise.
Vegetables are not there.
4 months later, I've lost 50 pounds.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Lost 50 pounds. A1C, 5.1.
Yeah.
Cholesterol down 50 points. Triglycerides
Jesus.
down 85 points.
Bravo.
My doctor looks at me. He goes, "What are you doing?" I go,
Yeah.
"I'm doing everything you told me not to do."
Yeah.
Do exactly.
Literally, yeah.
I was just gonna get to that, but you didn't let me because you got to it
Exactly.
first. All right.
You know, I said, I'm doing everything you did. Sorry, Harry, but that's the truth. I told him, I'm doing everything you're telling me not to do.
Yeah.
So who's at fault here? You're telling me to take medication and take low-fat foods and fucking grains and shit? Fuck bread.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
No,
Okay?
you literally
Right.
and I say this with family, like multiple family members in the medical industry. It's so hard. My dad even talks about it. He goes, you know how many times I have to tell patients, look, I don't want to put you on pain medication yet. Just go home.
Yeah.
Exercise it, do this, do that. And then like, maybe if it's still this, then we'll do that. But like, that should be your last like resort. So many people in this country, the doctors even know it too. They want a quick solution for like a temporary problem. But they don't know that that's going to be a lifelong. Funny that you brought up anxiety and depression. My mid-20s was the most miserable and depressed, where I had the worst physical depression I ever had, where I felt like my either sides of my body or like my chest were collapsing in on itself.
You're probably going through a quarter-life crisis.
It was not only a quarter life crisis of like, I'm 25. When I was 18, I was telling everyone I'm going to be a millionaire by 25. I'm going to do this, do that. Like all I have is like a shitty condo I'm barely affording that my parents had to help me buy, and like whatever, this and that. Like I weighed all of these things against me, where I was like, there's all these guys on social media who are 23, 20, making millions a year. That too, that played into it. But I was eating about, and this is, not 2024 prices. This is like realistic 10 years ago prices.
Yeah.
I would be eating $30 worth of IHOP and going to bed.
Jeez.
I would go to McDonald's. I would
Yeah.
eat 3 burgers and like this. And then I'm like getting fat and I'm getting thin. And I'm like, why am I so depressed? Why am I so anxious? Why do I feel like
Because
whatever?
the food is crap.
Literally, the moment I start lifting weights,
Yes.
praying, being like, and funny thing is, so recently I had the same problem too. Gained a bunch of weight, everything. The only thing that stopped my chest pains was that going on nightly walks, there's a reason why Greeks and all these countries that there people are walking to each other's families' houses and are actually living like this like healthy, good life. Human beings could all live to 100.
Yeah.
But in this country, the life expectancy goes down by the day, and I think it's now getting close to it was getting up in the 80s, and now it's going back to the 70s.
We lost 2.5 years in the last 4.5 years.
Yes, we lost. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, we're getting down to like 79 when we was like 82, 83, 84,
Right.
somewhere around there.
Right.
Point being,
For males, for males, I'm saying. For females, it's different.
I think it's because of our diets. It's because
100,
the air we
bro,
breathe, the water we drink, and the food we eat.
1,000,000%. You can't tell me, like, okay, you look at a picture of a beach in the 1970s.
It's all fit people.
Yes.
Bro, every guy has like a 6-pack. Every girl looks stunning. It's like one of those things of like, you look at pictures of like your aunt's you look and you guys, so beautiful, you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
My mom was like, she always bragged. She goes, "Oh, I was a size 0, like whatever, this and that." Bro, literally, like so they take pride in it because they see how people have gotten, and a lot of that is lifestyle too. A lot of that is when you have, for example, COVID come out, and the doctors and your government leaders that should be
The
saying,
machine,
"Hey, look,
the propaganda.
yeah, if they were saying, hey." Vitamin D, go out in the sun, exercise.
Yes.
This thing won't even get near you.
Exactly.
They did the exact. They say stay indoors, don't go out,
Exactly.
wear this mask, breathe in your own
Grubhub.
recycled air, get Grubhub. New York was bragging, oh, go get your vax, we'll give you a burger and fries.
Yeah, burger and fries.
Bro, like I keep saying, if our enemies wanted to destroy us, they wouldn't do it like this because they go, it's too obvious and they'll figure it out.
Right.
So like that's honestly, it's such
We're
a
destroying ourselves from within.
Yeah.
within, and it's the people that look. I get you're a company, you need to make money, so soybean oil is a lot cheaper than butter. And until the American consumer goes, I'm not going to eat that if there's soybean oil in it. I need it to be made with butter.
Do you know I make homemade popcorn for the kids? 4 ingredients: sesame oil, salt, butter, popcorn.
Yeah.
I make peanut butter for the kids.
Yeah.
I make our own butter for the kids.
Beautiful.
I do not trust. I even make mayonnaise for the kids.
That's the best thing to
I
make
do
at
not
home. Yeah.
trust
Yeah.
these corporations making this poison anymore to feed my kids. That's it.
Because you've had decades of firsthand, you see.
Of course.
The friends that I had that were overweight, it's so funny talking to every generation, older generation about this. I was talking about this with my chick's little sister last night. She was watching Project Runway. It was I think it was Project. It was
One of those shows, right?
one of those
Okay.
shows,
Yeah.
and I had seen a clip like a month before this, and I was like, "Oh, did you ever watch that one with Tyra Banks?" That she was literally, and she cut me off. She's like, "Yeah," where it was like the normal looking girl, and they're like,
Yeah.
"You're so fat," and like whatever, like you need to lose weight, and you look at her now, and she'd be considered like paper thin now. Every generation, what they considered fat,
Yeah.
to the modern, to like a millennial or a Gen Z, we'd be like, "That's a normal person."
Exactly.
Although I have to say,
Morbidly
it's crazy because nowadays, because of woke culture and everything,
They're applauding of
yes,
obesity.
they're applauding obesity and they're applauding unhealthy lifestyles. Man, they're. I mean, you can't even call people that are overweight. You have to say that's body shaming. You
Fuck
know?
that. Years ago, Harry, what did I say in my act? I go, I'm not fat. I'm metabolically challenged. Remember that? The political correctness. No, I was fucking fat. I'm
Of
sorry.
course.
And there's nothing healthy about being fat.
That's the thing.
But they're being celebrated because they want Americans to be fat. They want them to be sedentary. That's the problem.
Right. Due
That's
to
honestly way
the
it is.
culture, what's happening is they're actually perpetrating unhealthy lifestyles, and they're going to put people in early graves because
Exactly.
of it. You know.
Yeah, 100%.
So I mean, what is what is caring or what is accommodating to helping killing people? I don't understand this. I think if you're really a liberal, a progressive who cares about people and wants the best for them, you would tell them lovingly that, what you're doing is not healthy for you. It's going to make you die young.
Yeah, exactly it.
But that's not what we're living in. It's the exact opposite. What they're saying is, if you say that this person, if you tell this person that she's overweight or he's overweight or whatever, you are shaming this person, and you're a bad person for doing that.
Sorry, I'll shame all I want. It took me hard work to freaking lose my weight. Swimming half a mile a day,
My bro.
lifting weights.
Well, bro, you know who's
I started in July of 2022. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got on a scale. I was 278 pounds. This is the biggest I've ever been in my life. I was like, listen, man, I'm not trying to die at 55 or whatever. By the time I get there, I don't think another 5-6 years, whatever. I said, you know what? All right, it's time to make a decision.
That's right.
So I made a decision from that day. That was July of 22. Today is what? We're in January of 24.
Yeah.
212 pounds.
That's right.
Hell yeah, dude. Wait, how much?
278, 212.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Buddy, yeah, when you were posting I think I commented a few times being like, oh, hell yeah, keep it up and whatever.
Yeah.
The thing, when you see, it's that Chris Rock saying is
And I'm not done, dude. I'm trying to get to 180. I ain't gonna lie.
I lost pre-pandemic. I lost 100 pounds trying to get back into not being this anxious. And the way I did that, literally the only things I ate, chicken, rice, broccoli, but I would make it in a way where I would look forward to eat. Like that's the thing. You want to make it so you want to actually eat it.
This is what I tell everyone. Do what works for you.
Correct.
Yes.
Do what works for you. For me, rice, pasta, bread, this stuff's not going to work. So what I ate or what I keep eating, this is my normal diet. is fats and protein.
That's it.
No sugars,
Beautiful.
no carbs.
Yeah, that's all you need.
And then I walk. I'm too old to play basketball. I used to play my entire life. I'm done now. But I mean, I walk. I exercise that way. But whatever works for you. Okay,
Yeah.
I've plateaued, but it's okay. I'll just keep doing it.
I've always had bradycardia, asymptomatic bradycardia.
Yeah.
My heart's very efficient, thank God. So I'm always 55, 56.
We got off the point. The point was like people. The culture is at a point where right now that they're not celebrating people trying to live healthy lifestyles.
True.
They're shooting down people that call out others that are not living healthy
But
lives.
they call
ask
it
yourself why,
toxic
Harry.
and,
Ask yourself why. They want to sell more medication. They want to
Yeah.
sell more fucking food.
100%.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
100%.
Well, no, and
They want to kill us faster.
the one silver lining in literally everything we talked about, like for example, like my one hope, and it's a pretty good gamble because of what I'm seeing so far. I might be one of the very few people that looks at the younger generation coming up, and I actually admire them. And I'm like, you know what? You guys might be a better generation than the ones that came before you. Only reason being is they saw my generation, millennials didn't see when Gen X women would be like, oh, feminism, fuck a husband, like you live this crazy sexual life in New York and go out and have this like crazy fun time on one night stands and whatever. Millennials didn't see that Gen Xer be in their 50s and be miserable and alone.
Yeah.
Millennials didn't see that dude, that Christian dude or whoever, that nerd that they would make fun of, go and become, you know, like the Elon Musk or like the whatever. You had examples, but they were like so far and few in between. What I'm saying, the Gen Z particularly has seen all of the results of every modern philosophy. That's why,
And it's up to Gen Z to decipher which side
well, bro,
of that they're going to
and
fall.
they are,
But they're
and they
too
are,
stupid
and they
to
are.
freaking realize
no,
it, guys.
Arajan, don't discredit.
I'm not discrediting all of them. I'm not.
The thing is this, because they naturally see the results of all the previous generations when they were young and they didn't see all these modern philosophies play themselves out. Right now, there's articles being written about it. There is more Gen Z kids. This is the first time in history that teenagers are going to church without their parents.
Okay, I get that,
That's
but
great.
the majority of
That's
Gen Z
amazing.
is fucking stupid and they're clamoring for socialism.
There's,
I wouldn't say majority. I'd say the silent minority.
No, I know.
I'm sorry. The
Majority of college kids right now.
Sorry,
the
brother.
majority of there's
I meant-
fuck Joe Biden chants
Yes,
in every college you
there
go
is.
to now.
I was
I'm
going to
telling-
say,
bro, I know. I felt the same
it's-
way.
It's the vocal minority, not the silent minority. Oh, my bad. I had it backwards. I meant to say the very, very vocal minority is drowning out probably the silent majority.
Bro, no kid after 10 years of YouTube and viral videos that YouTube didn't for sure not want becoming viral.
Right.
And as much as I disagree with them on Armenian Israel, I can't think like Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro, all of these neocon like type of guys that they literally made it embarrassing to be a college liberal
Yeah.
with the amount of videos of
Charlie
them owning
Kirk. Charlie Kirk was on the front lines for 8 years
Bro,
now.
Charlie Kirk, and again, this is a guy that like
He's
I literally
got so
work
much
for him.
patience. I can never sit in front of a freaking college kid who's talking about multiple genders to me, dude. I would literally smack him in their face.
No, the thing is, I've gone to enough of his speeches to know the one thing that makes him happy and that makes Turning Point happy is when those radical leftists come up to try
Charlie?
to tell him like, oh, you're wrong or you're this
I
or
love
you're
those
that.
videos. I watch them all the time.
And there's a reason why they're so, because it's like literally the same as when I have people in my life that try to downplay like it's so like that's what we forget about. They go, I don't like Republicans because they're race horrible, whatever. DeSantis and like this. I go,
Give me
he's
an
so
example.
horrible. He's so horrible that liberals in LA or in New York are emptying out to move in Florida. He's that terrible of a guy. And it's not even. And then they say, oh, it's conservatives move. No. Over 40% of people leaving California are registered Democrats.
That's right.
Like, it's like your own people don't want to be here. And the shitty thing is, you guys are going to Arizona and places that I grew up and we had an understanding where our Democrats are more Republican than other states' Republicans. Case in point. I should have forgot her name. I'll remember it right now.
Who is she? What
Our
is she?
senator,
Oh, no. You're talking about the Christian cinema.
It's talking.
Kristen Sinema.
Yeah.
She, when it was Donald Trump's first address to Congress,
Yeah.
all of the Democrat women wanted to wear white.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that.
As a way of like protest or like whatever.
Yes.
Sinema knew what state elected her and what states Democrats elected her.
You know what?
And
I
they
respect
knew-
her.
and
I
they
respect
knew
her. And she's a Democrat. I
if
still
she
respect her.
went into this bullshit thing
Yeah.
with that white on, she wasn't going to get reelected. So what did she do? She went in with a fucking bright pink dress.
Yeah, I remember that.
When Trump would say something she agreed with, she would stand up and cheer.
Yep, I remember
and
that.
Her,
Yep. And the Democrats would be looking at her like, "What the? Are you doing?"
a Democrat that was
Yeah.
I forget who it was. I knew I knew her, whatever. It's not important now, but a Democrat, one of her the people on the same side of her aisle. The moment she sat down, her Democrat counterpart whispered to her, "You better watch your ass."
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
It was just
she
her and
smiled
Matt-
and nodded her head because
yeah.
she knows it's not those DC rats that are electing her. It's Arizonians that are
Exactly.
elected her. And even an Arizona Democrat is smarter than most any other Democrats because when you live in a red state like Arizona, you can't say, "Oh,
By the way, you're
ideology-"
from Arizona. We have you on the podcast. Once you're done, I'm going to ask you a question after you're done with this.
Oh yeah. The thing is, we know, and our Democrats know what makes our state run, what keeps our state safe. When everyone was in America was making fun of Joe Arpaio and being like, "Oh,
Yeah,
the toughest
Sheriff
sheriff,"
Arpaio,
and you should have saw how fucking safe Phoenix was.
Absolutely. I'm
Bro,
sure.
you wouldn't dare have some kid look at you even cross-eyed because you know if this is a little gangbanger. Now we have Gilbert Goons. They're actually now it's like a national headline story of these suburban, predominantly I think white kids that made a gang because they're bored in the suburbs in Gilbert, and now they're going around like killing people in Phoenix.
Wow.
Because that's how weak, and
Yeah.
it's like the exact opposite of what Arpaio created. There was a square mile in the middle of Phoenix that we would go to as teenagers because we wanted to see the danger of it. It was called the Square. It was a square mile in Phoenix that the cartel essentially owned. If you wanted to buy anything from a prostitute to a hand grenade
Yeah.
or to a bag of weed, coke, heroin, meth, you went to the Square, right? Or if you were like us and you were like a tourist, you wanted to be like, "Oh, look at the danger and whatever." Literally, Arpaio becomes sheriff. Military style vehicles are breaking down the fucking doors, and sheriffs are now. You go into the Square,
Yeah.
half of it's been ripped down for new development, and it's not even. But now slowly that element is coming back because Arpaio's not there. When Arpaio was shat on by New York and LA political people,
Right.
Democrats being like, "You're making your inmates sleep in tents
Yeah.
in 110, 15 degree weather outside at night in he looked at them and just said,
They're
"We have
inmates.
boys. We have soldiers in Iraq right now fighting and sleeping in 130 degree weather in Iraq.
Absolutely.
These guys will be fine." That's the thing. You don't need to go into these deep philosophical conversations with our political counterparts anymore, because now all it takes is one or two sentences. If they say, "I think we're better than this and that," why are you guys emptying out? The two biggest blue states are emptying out into the two biggest red states.
True.
That's all you need to know. Look at
California,
the
New York, going in Florida and Texas. I know this. Okay. Question. Keeping with Arizona. Were you there when
Kerry
the
Lake?
Lake and Hobbs happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the tail end. I have a couple of friends that ran her campaign for her. They know her, and they're like, "Dude, this woman genuinely loves Arizona. Wants Arizona." Because it's this weird thing that, and I mean, sorry to say, people from Arizona, we talk and care more about and I feel like every state should be this way. We talk about Arizona and protecting Arizona more than because we want to protect our state. We view that as just as valuable, if not more, than America.
Yeah.
And if every state did this, if the people in every state took pride and were to an immense point where they go, "We want to make this the best state," America already is best place on earth, would be that much better. And
Okay.
yeah.
Here's the
What
thing.
was your question about it? Sorry.
I didn't get to the question, but it's okay. The question is this: since you were in the state,
Yeah.
you saw the whole process happening, the groundswell, everything. Did you, for a second, think that Kerry Lake could lose to Katie Hobbs?
honestly, I knew she was going to lose because
Okay.
of who ran the elections.
Okay.
That's the only reason.
Okay.
No, the thing is
So
this.
the Maricopa County
Trump
bullshit.
lost.
So
Trump
do you
lost
think it was legitimate is my next question.
Not for once. There was a 90-mile motorcade for Trump in Arizona.
I remember that.
That goes
I posted.
for the people from Arizona know that goes from 90. It takes me 2.5 hours, or no, like about 2 hours to get to my parents' house in Prescott from Phoenix.
Right.
There was a line of cars. It's 89 miles to get to my parents' house. There was a mile longer. And one time when I was I couldn't fathom that distance.
Jesus.
Of like, and if you really think about it, it's like crazy to think 90 miles of people in support of a presidential candidate. I would go to Trump rallies in Arizona. I've been to Super Bowls in Arizona. I've been to Waste Management Opens. I've been to all the big sporting event type of things in Arizona. There hasn't been a single college, whatever, any sporting event I've been to that had the energy that there was at Trump rallies and the amount of people. When he did a speech in Mesa, me and my cousin were walking up to it. We both were working for Turning Point at the time. We thought, we're going to get backstage. We're going to get to shake Trump's hand.
Right.
Because all the people at Turning Point that were working that day that were there since like 6 a.m., like that was their like whatever pay. It was you get to meet the president. We didn't go because then not everyone in the office was like, supposed to go do that.
Right.
So when we went, we thought, okay, we'll just sneak in. The police officers were like, you guys, no one can walk a step further. And we're like, we work for, he's like, dude, don't care. The overflow is full.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
You can't get 3 miles. You cannot get 3 miles close to that thing. Whatever. Bro, like that's how many Arizonians were on Trump. And the fact that the audacity that the Democrat, and they did it. When election day came in Maricopa County, all of a sudden, all the places that Republicans were supposed to be voting the most, the machine stopped working.
course.
Right.
There were misprints. A buddy of mine at the gym who he voted. You can look up online to see. It doesn't say who you voted for, but it tells you if you voted or not.
Right.
It says he didn't vote.
Wow.
So I wonder how many trash bags filled.
Funny story. The next morning, when it was I think I've shared this on a podcast before. I think I shared it when Sam was here, when Tripoli was here. The next morning, I go on her Instagram page, Katie Hobbs.
Yeah.
Okay. After she supposedly won the election, in the morning at 8 a.m., I see she's got 10,411 followers. 10,000.
Yes.
I go on Carrie Lake's page. She has over 300,000 followers. Okay. That's not even the point. I'm not done. I'm not done. So I'm like, congratulations, Katie. Oh, by the way, I have 20,000 followers. I go, congratulations, Katie.
Hey, you could vote. You can run for governor of Arizona, Harry.
I go, maybe now you can reach up to as many followers as I have. Not even 2 hours later, I go back and I check. Did you hear the first number I gave you? 10,411. She's got 14,411 followers, which means they're in the process of buying followers.
Yeah.
And they're buying in bulk. So she got 4,000 followers. She bought 4,000 followers at one point. So she got exactly 4,000 followers in 2 hours.
Bro, legit, yeah. Oh, randomly, right? There was like that many
How can that even happen?
And bro, this is how crazy. This is why I never thought, unless there was some dirty play in the background, that Carrie Lake would lose. Carrie Lake, this is the thing with smaller states. Your news anchors are like a part of your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They
You know,
all know her. The whole freaking community knows
Bro,
her.
she's an institution. When I saw Tom Curtis at the Waste Management guy, he was like our guy with the mustache. Yeah, like just absolutely, like this guy is.
He's your, what's his name? Mark, the black guy with the mustache on ABC. I forgot.
No, okay. You want to actually hear something funny? So Curtis's female co-anchor, her name was Lisa, last name Cooney. for a majority of my childhood, when Curtis and Cooney would come on at night, my dad would like chuckle, right? They'd be like, Curtis and Cooney coming up. That was like their slogan, right? My dad would always chuckle. I'm like, you're an Armenian living in Arizona. You don't have Armenian friends that could teach you the bad words. So like, what are you laughing at, bro? Until I was like 16, he wouldn't. And then finally one day he goes, in Armenian it means to fuck.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I can see why every single time it was said.
Larry Holmes,
you got,
Jerry
like, a
Cooney.
nice
Remember
little-
Jerry Cooney, bro? Remember Jerry Cooney, base?
Yeah, of course I remember Jerry Cooney.
Oh yeah, famous thing. But anyways, point being is, Arizona. When I had no clue who Hobbs was, Lake was one of the people like we grew up watching. If it was like, oh, this was a commercial, and then you'd switch over to ABC.
She's
whatever.
like our Colleen Williams.
Yeah.
She's still around.
Yeah, like a legit institution. And like the thing is, when you're in a country that after the Biden-Trump election happened, I turned over to my buddy. I said, Iran, China, North Korea, Venezuela, all laughing at us right now. Anyone that, anytime that we say America is a free country, we have free elections, they can turn around and be like,
Horse shit.
how did one candidate get, what was the thing in, what was it, New Hampshire? Where was it? Where they showed the graph and Biden's is a straight plateau. Like it's straight up, like randomly at 3 a.m. one candidate
Buddy,
gets
5 states stop
Georgia,
counting
Michigan,
election votes.
Wisconsin,
something
Minnesota.
percent of the vote. Whatever. I'm not going to go protest. I don't agree with the January 6 people, but it's like if you see your country being taken away, you should do or say something about it. And even if this wasn't a fixed election, it has all the markings and all the signs of one. So
Yeah,
Guys,
all right,
I'm
I just
sorry.
want to go over this last thing, and then we're gonna have to close up the podcast because we've been going on quite a while. I didn't even know we were
We're
going
coming
on
on
this long.
3 hours
We're coming
tonight.
up on 3 hours. I just wanted to go over this one thing.
I love this podcast tonight. This
it
is
was
fucking
great,
awesome.
great podcast. So, Basil, I don't know if you even heard about this.
I haven't heard shit. I live in a bubble.
Rumble. Sorry, YouTube. I know we're on YouTube, but Rumble today got bought out, or I should say, was bought in by Dave Portnoy, who owns Barstool Sports.
nice.
Okay, $400 million deal.
Portnoy has that much money.
Yes, he's got money. Okay, so Jordan Peterson is there.
That's a lot of pizza reviews.
Listen, guys. Listen, Jordan Peterson is there. Russell Brand is there. Tucker Carlson is there. All these really prominent, Steven Crowder, all these prominent people are there. Guess who's going to be there pretty soon? Bros and Brews. We're going to go over there too.
Yeah, we're going to Rumble.
We're going to go on Rumble so we can talk with even more, free speech being allowed to us. By the way, we lost the sign, but that's okay.
That's all right.
That's
We only have it for 2 hours.
We only paid for the 2 hours.
That's right.
So I wanted to make that announcement and let you guys know, since now, I mean, Rumble's being legitimized in my estimation, and I'm starting to talk like bass because I'm 4 whiskeys in, maybe 5 at this point. So I'm starting to mumble my words too, but mumble and rumble rhyme. So
Hey, this
at
is
least
the
it
whole
makes
point of
sense.
the podcast. We get drunk and we just let the alcohol fucking drive. That's it,
Bro,
baby.
that's the best way to do it.
That's it. I don't give a shit.
Anything else you want to talk to? You want to mention, guys? Bays, Matt, anything? Or I'm going to close it up.
No, that's it, man. I mean, let's see what happens this election year. I mean,
We've got a long way to go before the election, but go ahead.
Look, this is what I'm saying. 2020 still left a sore spot. Too many questions asked. Okay, everybody knows it was a rigged election. This guy, Joe Biden, in 1988 got 0.1% of the votes. 1992 got 0.18% of the votes. And
Way back in 1992, even.
Yeah, and in 2020, he got the most votes in American history. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah.
You know what the Southerners say? That dog don't hunt. Right there. So I don't care. You could show me any proof you want. I know it was rigged in 2020. Now, do I think Trump deserves a second term? Abso-fucking-lutely.
Hell yes.
Zero wars, unemployment at an all-time low, economy was rocking, America first, energy dependent. Give me more of Trump, okay? I'm
Hell yeah.
sorry. At this point,
Hell yeah.
I don't give a shit.
We're all in.
That's it. We're all in. So
all in.
if Trump gets the Republican nomination,
He's getting it.
he's going to get it. So
Of course, it's done. It's pretty much done.
if he wins,
Nikki Haley has to drop out because she's going to be embarrassed in her own state.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about her, dude. She's a Democratic and globalist establishment.
Dude, when the Democrats are backing
she's a
you,
plant.
when the Democrats are backing you, I mean,
look, here's my take on this, and in no way do I endorse this, but I think that if Trump doesn't win this election, we're gonna 1776 again.
Okay, we're on YouTube. We're not on Rumble yet.
I'm sorry, I'm not endorsing it, nor am I encouraging it, but I'm just telling you, this country is at a boiling point.
No, you don't even say that. It doesn't even get to 1776. Just look at what's happened. Ask yourself this. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, or Armenian, or American, whatever, or both. Ask yourself this. The last 4 years, can we survive another 4?
No, we can't.
That's all you need to ask yourself. If you're this is my last thing I want to say. If you're an Armenian Democrat, please vote however you want. I know you guys are doing it out of the goodness of your heart, whatever you want to see everyone happy, whatever. Just please respect yourself, respect your community. And when someone promises you something and they don't deliver on it, you don't need to be mad or throw a tantrum, but at the very least, you should turn around and say, hey, this was promised to us. You didn't provide it. Just letting you know it didn't go unchecked. And in the future, it would be a very good thing to happen if you guys did make it happen. Whatever it is, just please have some respect for yourselves. If anything, just stop allowing people to lie to you and trample you and take away your freedoms.
Matt's being too nice. I'm 6 beers in, so I'm just going to say one thing. Stop being a tool. Okay? Stop going with the herd and vote with your heart, and more importantly, vote with your brain.
Absolutely.
Beautifully said.
And with that, I'm going to shut down the podcast tonight, and I'm going to thank all you guys for joining in. Please share the podcast, subscribe to us, help us grow. I want to thank our guest again. I want to thank Matt. For being here.
Yep.
And we'll see you. We'll see you next time. The bar is now closed, guys. Have a good night, and we'll see you next time.